3 employees of the auto parts business are still missing. The CEO tells us his business looks like a war zone, adding the plane is in pieces. The fuselage is where one of our administration offices used to be.
That's ABC's Mola Lenghi. Among the victims, all 3 pilots on the plane and a child who had been on the ground at the time of the crash. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Got some losses on Wall Street now. The Dow Jones down 289, NASDAQ falling 253. The S&P is down 45 points. That's the latest news. We've got traffic and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
Good morning. It is 9:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We got a big, busy show for you today. I'm seeing reports, Polymarket actually just tweeted this out a little while ago, that President Trump will be making a major announcement today at 11 a.m. I'm assuming that's 11 a.m. Eastern, which would be 10 o'clock Central. We'll be keeping our eyes on that very closely, and we'll cover that live should the major announcement come. I will say this, the first response to this major announcement tweet from Polymarket was, these major announcements always feel like McDonald's saying something huge is coming, and then it's just the McRib again. Well, we'll see. Don't knock the McRib until you try it. I'm just kidding. It's gross. Don't do it. I think the McRib is actually just a molecule or two away from plastic. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's more rubber.
Rubber. Sorry. I don't want to push fake news. It's just rubber and barbecue sauce and potentially a little raccoon. Potentially. Maybe. We're not sure. I'm not a food scientist. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I am. Major news this morning, Nancy Pelosi is retiring. We covered this last week, mind you. Did you see that? She officially announced today, but we had it on the Chris Hand Show last week. We knew the vodka skeleton's time was running short. We knew. Everybody knew. President Trump just responded to it. Peter Doocy, Best Doocy, that's how we refer to him here on Super Talk, was on Fox News talking about the president's reaction to Nancy Pelosi announcing her retirement, impending retirement. She's still got a year to go.
Chatted with President Trump about this breaking news that Nancy Pelosi will be leaving Washington. He tells me the following, and this is a quote. The retirement of Nancy Pelosi is a great thing for America. She was evil, corrupt, and only focused on bad things for our country. She was rapidly losing control of her party, and it was never coming back. I'm very honored. She impeached me twice and failed miserably twice. Nancy Pelosi is a highly overrated politician. And so
tell us how you really feel, sir.
Oh, man.
I love how he goes, I'm very honored. I'm very honored. It's an honor that Nancy Pelosi would retire while I'm in the White House. I'm very honored. She impeached me twice. She's a very, very nasty person. I wonder what he says in private.
And so that is the first word, but definitely not the last word from President Trump about this, because about 90 minutes from right now, we do expect to see him in the Oval Office. The two of them, of course, throughout his entire first term, had historic battles, whether it was over funding, whether it was over his impeachment. The two of them did not get along at all, but like many historic.
Yeah, they weren't friends. All right, so major announcement coming from the president inside the Oval Office. We'll be keeping our eyes on it, and we'll cover that live. Mason, we're going to cover that live. All right, dude. So Nancy Pelosi, my favorite memory was during COVID when she went and got her hair done, and then she said it was a setup. Do you remember when she said it was a setup? And
I
then,
do.
And then Trump said, Nancy, you're not supposed to be set up. Do you remember that? Yeah. And then there was a song. I wonder if anybody can find the song, because there was a hilarious meme song that was made about Nancy Pelosi being set up and how she wasn't supposed to be set up. But me and my wife used to watch that at least once or twice a week and giggle. And we did that throughout the entire pandemic. We would be angry, and I'd say, hun, let's watch the Nancy Pelosi setup video, because it was always hilarious.
I take responsibility for trusting the word of a neighborhood salon that I've been to over the years many times, and that when they said, well, we're able to accommodate people one person at a time, and that we can set up that time, I trusted that. As it turns out, it was a setup, so I take responsibility for falling for a setup.
That's so good. I take responsibility for falling for a setup. Don't worry, though. Nancy Pelosi's daughter will probably take her role, so we won't lose the Pelosi. And we still have her nephew to look forward to. He's going to be running for president. He was posting stale memes. Did you see Gavin Newsom posting stale memes in an attempt to dunk on Republicans after the election results? The election results that were very predictable. Everybody saw them coming. Nobody was shocked or stunned. Gavin Newsom saw it as an opportunity to post nothing but stale memes. And by stale memes, I mean, he did the superimposed face over wrestlers. This is 2016 Trump memes that Gavin Newsom is posting. This is what I mean when I say it's stale memes. The left can't meme. They just try to copy as best they can.
The prodigal son!
And it's Trump, and he's getting hit with a chair by other wrestlers and super kicked, and you know, it's just, if you're watching on the stream, you see it's the memes are stale. The memes are stale. This is what a guy that's running for president is putting on. New York Post puts it this way: the fanciful clip featured House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, a.k.a. the Dominator, body-slamming Mike Johnson. Then you had other clips where Gavin Newsom is pedigreeing President Trump after receiving a super kick from Barack Obama. These are old memes. These are old memes. You got AOC body slamming Tom Homan. It's sad. Create something fun and create something new. Here's something fun and something new. Did you know that the majority of voters that voted for Prop 50 in California actually want a nonpartisan commission to draw the districts? We're learning this from Fox News yesterday. They had the polling. California voters don't necessarily like the idea of the Democrats drawing all the districts.
In particular with Prop 50, the reason voters said they voted yes on Prop 50, 82% of the case, 8 out of 10 voters say it was to counter the GOP changes, not because they saw it was the best way to draw those district lines. Now, if you go back and look at those who said no to the vote, they said their reasoning to do so is that they saw this as not the best way to draw those district lines, while only 34% said it was to stop the Democrats from adding seats in Congress. A couple other things we're taking away from what voters said there in California. We asked the voters and how they would actually like to see these lines drawn. The irony of this, Trace, is that 9 out of 10 voters, even more so, said they'd like to see this done by a nonpartisan commission, not the party in power. Well, that was preempted with the outcome of this vote.
Preempted. 9 out of 10 California voters want a nonpartisan commission to draw the districts, not the party in power. Sorry, you should have voted differently. Elections have consequences. California, though, this is going to be fought in the courts. California Republicans are now filing lawsuits against this redistricting. Breitbart has the story. California Republican Party has announced a federal lawsuit against the state's recently passed Prop 50, which will potentially add 5 Democrat seats to the U.S. House. Again, I'm not going to be overly upset by California redistricting because I think it's a bit hypocritical, because we weren't overly upset with Texas redistricting. I'm not overly upset with Ohio redistricting. I want Tennessee to see how many seats that they could carve out if they were to go for it. I'm fine with it. I really am. But I love the fight that the California Republicans are putting up at the exact same time. Don't take it sitting down. Fight, fight, fight. During a press conference Tuesday morning, State Assemblyman David Tengipa announced himself as the lead plaintiff in the lawsuit. He was joined by Corin Rankin, chairwoman of the California Republican Party, and attorney Mike Colombo of the Dillon Law Group. Per KABC, 18 California voters are also co-plaintiffs in the suit, which is alleging that the newly approved Prop 50 unconstitutionally gerrymanders districts in violation of the 14th and 15th Amendments. The ballot measure created new congressional map with the goal of giving Democrats 5 or more of the state's 52 congressional seats. It easily passed. The Republicans have filed multiple lawsuits in California to block the Democrats' plan with little success so far. Colombo of the Dillon Law Group, a California law firm started by Harmeet Dillon, said the map will violate the 14th Amendment and disenfranchise California voters. He said the map is designed to favor one race of California voters over others. Colombo told reporters this violates the 14th Amendment's guarantee of equal protection under the law and the right under the 15th Amendment to not have one's vote abridged on account of race. Governor Gavin Newsom, his office predicted that the lawsuit will fail. It probably will, let's be perfectly honest. I just like the fight that the Republicans are having. The Republicans hold 219 seats in the House. Democrats hold 213. Those 5 seats in the 2026 midterms could make a huge difference. We'll be paying attention to this lawsuit. I'm not overly confident that anything's going to happen, but I do like that they're not going to take it lying down. Across the country in New York, we're seeing a lot of fallout from those election results as well. This time, I don't know if you'd say this taking it laying down, but they're just not going to take it at all. Top New York City officials are resigning after the election of Zohran Mamdani. The first to go is an FDNY, Fire Department of New York, commissioner. He handed in his resignation less than 12 hours after the Mamdani win. Other top officials are expected to follow suit. This is also from Breitbart. FDNY commissioner by the name of Robert Tucker handed in his resignation less than 12 hours after Zohran won the New York City mayoral race. The fire chief tendered his resignation the morning after he was elected, according to a report by the New York Daily News. On Wednesday morning, Tucker informed New York City Mayor Eric Adams that December 19th will be his last day as FDNY commissioner, according to an email obtained by the newspaper. He said, between now and then, I will continue to lead the greatest fire department in the world and will ensure an orderly transition, Tucker said in his letter to Adams. While Tucker's reasons for resigning were not immediately made clear, an FDNY source told the New York Daily News that the fire chief, a Jewish philanthropist and businessman, felt he wouldn't mesh well with the incoming mayor and his team. Why would you wouldn't mesh well? Why is that? Is it because he's so anti-Israel? Is that why? Maybe. Mamdani, a self-proclaimed socialist who has repeatedly refused to say that the terrorist group Hamas should lay down their arms, will be sworn in as New York City's mayor on January 1st, 2026. An Adams administration official told the newspaper that several others who serve as top aides to the mayor, including Deputy Mayor for Public Safety, are also expected to submit their resignations in coming days. Daughtry, who once served as NYPD Deputy Commissioner, has been Adams' top public safety deputy at City Hall, as well as the key liaison between the mayor's team and President Donald Trump's administration. As for Tucker, he plans to go back to running T&M, a private security firm he founded in 1999. New York City officials aren't exactly impressed with the election results. Zohran Mamdani, though, was taking his victory laps yesterday, and he was saying this is what Republicans are afraid of. They're afraid that the things that he's promising are actually going to get done. Who's going to tell him? Who's going to tell him that he can't do any of this stuff? Is anybody going to tell him?
I think the lesson for the president is that it's not enough to diagnose the crisis in working class Americans' lives. You have to deliver on addressing that crisis. This is a president who ran a campaign on the promise of cheaper groceries, and now, as was said by one of our co-chairs, has gone so far as to cut SNAP benefits for close to 2 million New Yorkers. Someone who is literally making it harder to afford those same groceries whose price he was decrying not that long ago.
Who is it that is voting to open the government, and who is it that is voting to keep the government closed? I mean, it's such a garbage categorization of what's really happening in the world. The president is ruining SNAP benefits. It's the president. As Republicans vote to open the government, is that what you're telling us? That's what he's telling us. That's what he's selling. People are buying it too.
And what scares Republicans across the country is the fact that we will actually deliver on this agenda. And the contrast is something that they cannot bear to witness.
We're so scared. We're so scared that he's going to deliver on the agenda. Steve Scalise talked about the socialist agenda and how it always overpromises and underdelivers.
Anybody wait to see what those free buses are going to look like? I'm sure they're going to be incredibly safe and clean when you ride the free buses. Can anybody wait to see what those government-run grocery stores are going to look like? Shelves unstocked, expired food. I'm sure the friendliness of those employees that are government employees at those grocery stores. That's what socialism does. Socialism always overpromises and underdelivers.
I love how he says, imagine the employees at those state-run grocery stores, those government-run grocery stores, how happy they would be. Could you imagine if a grocery store was run the same way, I don't know, the DMV was run? And I don't mean to disrespect the DMV. It's just, could you imagine? Be chaos, absolute chaos. Zohran Mamdani wasted no time, though, yesterday, shocking his supporters, letting them know that not everything is free. He's promising all the free things, but he's already back to asking for money. I'll bring you that when we return. It's 9:21. This is Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. I don't know why, but that Murphy promo always gets me. I'm in a mood. Come at me, bro. It's so good. Did you hear Matt's going to be, he's looking to buy a house? Did you hear that?
Ooh.
I heard that on the Murphy show. Well, pretty soon he's going to be in the mood to make an investment in the kitchen.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know what I'm going to suggest? I'm going to suggest cabinet makeovers. That's what we did in our house, and cabinet makeovers is the best. We had brand new pull-out cabinets installed and a pull-out pantry, which is unbelievable. The pull-out game is top-notch, and we are really enjoying it. We knew we needed to make the investment in the kitchen. My wife was a huge fan of this style of cabinets and pantries, and I was like, sure, we can do that. I didn't know how much I was going to like them until I had them. Since they've been installed, our kitchen has been completely transformed. No more digging in the back of the cabinets for pots and pans. The kids can get snacks out of the pantry so much easier, and it's going to transform everything for you. If you need to make the investment in your home, do it with a company that's been doing it for 45 years. Do it with a company where everything they do is Tennessee made. Every cabinet, pull-out drawer, all wood construction, full extension, soft close glides. It is top notch. They do everything. It's not just kitchens. You can get custom closets, pantries, cabinetry for every room in your house, and it's all going to be built with that same Tennessee pride and the biblical values that they use to guide their business. So do what I did. Call Dan over at Cabinet Makeover, 615-331-7010, 615-331-7010, or find pictures of the work online, cabinetmakeoverstn.com.
This is massive. This is Armenia and Azerbaijan. This is nearly 4 decades of fighting in the region. Both leaders of each nation are coming here to the White House.
For more than 35 years, Armenia and Azerbaijan have fought a bitter conflict that resulted in tremendous suffering for both nations. They suffered gravely for so many years. Many tried to find a resolution, including the European Union. The Russians worked very hard on it, never happened. Sleepy Joe Biden tried, but you know what happened there? He tried for probably 12 minutes and didn't work out.
Have you seen this done with any other president, the way he's leveraging the economy and trade?
Absolutely not. I mean, this is 7 peace deals in 7 months, and it's unbelievable. I mean, President Trump is the only guy who can come together and do it. He can do it right.
The FAA about to slow down air traffic at 40 airports, and why a small-town Kansas mayor is going to need to find a new job. All of that and more coming up at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm excited to talk about the airports later on today. Can you imagine trying to travel for Thanksgiving? Or having already bought your tickets and then you hear that like the airport that you're connecting to.
It's the ultimate chaos.
It's going to be insane. Staying home for Thanksgiving never felt so good.
I think a lot of people are going to go rent some cars.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine the price hike that you're going to see on car rentals?
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. Also crazy, Zoran Mamdani. Maybe you like that radio segue?
That was beautiful.
This is what I do. I get paid the big bucks, medium bucks.
Gives me a tear in my eye.
Rather small bucks. So Zoran says the Republicans are scared because his policies are going to work. They're going to see that what he's going to do, free everything, is going to work. Also, at the same time, while he's making these big, bold proclamations, he released a new ad for his supporters yesterday where he says, hey, spoiler alert, not everything is going to be free, and I do need some of your money.
Good morning, New York City. Thank you. Last night we made history, and today we begin the work of making a new administration. Welcome to the transition.
Not that kind of a transition. It's not the popular transition that Democrats often talk about. But you see a fake smile, and you see this con artist, and you wonder, how could anybody vote for him? Well, they're going to start thinking the same thing soon, too, because he's asking for their money.
This is the period over the next few months where we build a city hall that delivers on the promises of our campaign, to make New York City affordable and to make government accountable to the people it serves. As we prepare to govern, we'll start announcing the leaders who will help implement our agenda. People like deputy mayors who oversee entire areas of government and the commissioners who carry out the critical work of city agencies. These appointments will be driven by excellence, integrity, and a hunger to solve old problems with new solutions.
Yeah, people are going to be hungry, all right. People are going to be hungry.
To organizers on the front lines of the fight to improve our city, government veterans with proven track records, policy experts from around the country and the world, and working people who know better than anyone what our neighborhoods deserve. And this will be a period, like the campaign we ran and the city hall to come, defined by transparency. Because New Yorkers deserve a government they can trust. On January 1st, I will be your mayor. New Year's Day, and a new era for this city. Oh, and one more thing. Remember how I told you a few months ago to stop sending us money? You can start again.
Oh. I'll get right on it, Zoran.
This transition requires staff, research, and an infrastructure that can meet this moment. And it will be made possible by the people who built and believe in this movement. So I hope you'll make a donation at transition2025.com. Now let's get to work.
I'm going to give you everything free. Please donate money so that we can cover the bill. 9:30, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. A guy with a long gun shooting out of the window of his car. That's who police were pursuing yesterday through South Nashville and into Hermitage, right past this guy's front porch.
He was like pointing it at the air. I didn't quite get scared until he went down this way here and past the other speed bump, and that's when he started shooting out more 3 to 4 gun rounds.
Well, they caught the suspect, 24-year-old Marcos Palacios Amaya, after laying down spike strips to stop his car. Police booked him on a list of charges. He may also be facing federal charges. New plans to reduce flights at several major U.S. airports. Federal transportation officials citing air traffic control safety concerns because of the government shutdown. ABC's Rachel Scott at Reagan National Airport.
Head of the FAA says he has never seen anything like this in his 35-year career. This is an unprecedented move that will impact hundreds of thousands of travelers across the country, leading to major flight delays and cancellations at airports starting tomorrow.
Nashville's airport is not on the list, but Memphis is. The list, by the way, could change. And in the town of Coldwater, Kansas, they'll be looking for a new mayor. Current mayor Jose Ceballos has just been busted for voting in several election cycles, even though he's a citizen of Mexico. He's in the country legally, but clearly breaking federal laws. He's been charged with 6 federal crimes. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand. Black Friday is on the way. Where are you going to be shopping for big savings? Well, if you love freedom and you love the Second Amendment and you like a good deal, I got the perfect spot for you. My friends at the Glock store aren't just doing a Black Friday sale that's boring. They're throwing a full-blown freedom party. Forget the big box chaos. This is where real Americans are going to be shopping on Black Friday. They're going to blow the doors off of every sale you've ever seen. Think massive discounts on everything up to and including Glocks. Spoiler alert. Plus, giveaways on top of giveaways, food trucks, maybe even some live music. This thing is shaping up to be a party that you're going to brag about being at later. And if you know the Glock store, you know they don't mess around. It was just a couple Saturdays ago, they gave away over 10 grand in Vortex optics to people for just showing up. And I'm told this Black Friday blowout is going to make that look like small potatoes. So skip the mall and celebrate your right to bear arms at the one and only Glock store. That's something to be grateful for. Something to be thankful about. Minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, especially on Black Friday.
Hey dads, want an epic night with your kids? Head to Nissan Stadium for the Nashville All-Pro Dad Experience. On November 7th from 6 to 8:30 p.m., you'll make memories with your family as you run on the field and enjoy bonding activities. Expect fun, laughs, and fatherhood tips from Tennessee Titans long snapper Morgan Cox to help you be a better dad. All for less than a trip through the drive-thru. Just $35 gets you an unforgettable time with your kids. Register today at allprodad.com/events. The Nashville All-Pro Dad Experience is brought to you by Amazon, Arby's Foundation, Coca-Cola Consolidated, Colgate Bright Smiles Bright Futures, and Pinnacle Financial Partners.
It's 9:37 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch us. Super Talk TV up and running. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Rumble. We're on Rumble today, right? Oh, we're on Rumble today. I got the nod. That's how I know. Rumble's a janky platform. We love it. I love the free speech aspect of it, but it's got to get better.
Yeah, sometimes it can't stand on its own 2 feet.
Hit like and subscribe no matter what, though. Hit dislike if you feel passionate enough, too.
But only if you're passionate enough.
Shout out to the YouTube chat. Shout out to the text line. Shout out to you guys on the phone line, 615-737-9986. That's the number to call if you want to be a part of the show. I'm paying attention closely to the reaction from the election of Zohran Mamdani. And I'm noticing something. It seems like this is an inflection point for the Democrat Party. You're either running towards it or you're running away from it as fast as you can. There's no in between. And you're getting a lot of different reaction. Van Jones on CNN, he's one of the guys running away from it. And on CNN, Van Jones said that this speech from Zohran when he won was a divisive speech. That was his instant reaction when Zohran won the mayoral race in New York City. And he said so on CNN. This was Van Jones.
First of all, you got to give the guy the credit. He defeated Democratic Party royalty. The Cuomo, that's a royal family in our party, defeated them. Defeated the oligarchs and rich folks who jumped in to try to stop him, and then defeated Donald Trump. So the triumphalism that you see there is earned. A year ago, nobody ever heard of the guy. And the younger people who I'm hearing from feel a great deal of relief and pride, and they're fired up, and they feel like they've been silenced for too long. So that speech appealed to some. But I think he missed an opportunity. I think the Mamdani that we saw on the campaign trail, who was a lot more calm, who was a lot warmer, who was a lot more embracing, was not present in that speech. And I think that Mamdani is the one you need to hear from tonight. There are a lot of people trying to figure out, can I get on this train with him or not? Is he going to include me? Is he going to be more of a class warrior even in office? I think he missed a chance tonight to open up and bring more people into the tent. I think his tone was sharp. I think he was using the microphone in a way that he was almost yelling. And that's not the Mamdani that we've seen on TikTok and the great interviews and stuff like that. So I felt like there's a little bit of a character switch here where the warm, open, embracing guy that's close to working people was not on stage tonight. And there was some other voice on stage. That said, he's very young, and he just pulled off something that's very, very difficult.
Saying the speech was divisive. He could have been more unifying. It's not the same guy we saw on TikTok. I don't know about you, but I chuckled when he said that, well, he fought against the billionaires and the oligarchs. It's like, are you missing the Alex Soros endorsement? Am I the only one that noticed Alex Soros, son of George Soros, celebrating and donating to this guy's campaign? Is that defeating the oligarchs? But I digress. So you get a guy like Van Jones who he's like, this ain't it. This ain't it, Chief. This ain't it. And then you get other members of this same Democrat Party who are saying, hey, you're wrong, and here's why. Charlemagne, actually, from the Breakfast Club, was quick to respond to Van Jones. And he says to Van Jones, why don't you shut the F up? I kid you not. This is what he said on the Breakfast Club just the other morning.
How is any of that divisive? I personally love that he covered all bases. He talked about working with police, helping people with mental health issues. He talked about helping the homeless, trans people, black women, Jewish people, the Muslim community. Most importantly, he spoke to the working class of all races. Van Jones didn't like that. He thought it was divisive.
But I think he missed an opportunity. The Mamdani that we saw on the campaign trail, who was a lot more calm, who was a lot warmer, who was a lot more embracing, was not present in that speech. He was almost yelling. That said, he's very young, and he just pulled off something that's very, very difficult. But I think he missed an opportunity to open himself up tonight, and I think that will probably cost him going forward.
Van, shut the F up forever.
Okay, shut the F up forever. It's got to be tough to be Van Jones. Nobody likes you on either side. That's just... It's got to be tough. That's got to be tough. But it's not just Van Jones. Like we could point to Van Jones, and he's a commentator. Like he doesn't hold too much weight. I think what holds more weight for me is the Democrats in more purplish areas and swing states that are running away from this guy because they know exactly what time it is, and this is going to be an issue for the Democrat Party moving forward. You're going to have to either side with Mamdani, or you're going to have to stand strongly against. There's going to be no middle ground. Debbie Dingell in Michigan, she ran from saying Mamdani is like the new face of the Democrat Party. I think this is one of the things that we're going to have to do as conservatives. We're going to have to make the Democrats the Mamdani Party because of how uncomfortable it makes a lot of these Democrats and a lot of Democrat voters. This is Debbie Dingell on CNN yesterday.
He is also a Democratic socialist, and Republicans are thrilled about that and that he was elected.
True.
They want to sort of have that hang as an albatross around Democrats' necks, kind of nationally, right? They've called him everything from a communist to a Muslim terrorist. Do you have concerns about Mamdani and the labels that this affords Republicans being used as a weapon against Democrats?
Okay, Republicans tried to make Nancy Pelosi the enemy in years past. I'm going to focus on the election of Abigail Spanberger, who is clearly a moderate, as is Mikey Sherrill. Both women that had strong military and national intelligence background. What I think the message from last night is people are worried.
I'm not going to talk about Mamdani, says Debbie Dingell in Swing State, Michigan. I'm going to focus on the moderates. Mind you, the moderates in this situation want men in your girls' locker rooms. They want boys playing girls. That's moderate now. It's so moderate. This is how far left the party has gone, that those are moderate stances. Wanting to be able to trans kids and let them chop their bits off, that's very moderate. And I love how the host, she says, the Republicans are going to try to hang this around their neck like an albatross. And the Democrats did that to themselves. And you can see that the Democrats know they did that to themselves. Hence why Dingell runs away from it and says, let's focus on Abigail Spanberger and Mikey Sherrill instead of Mamdani. Yeah, I'm sure you wish you could. But the reality is your party is going further and further left. And we all know what the results are going to be in New York. You're going to see an unprecedented crime wave as police continue to be demonized by this guy. You're going to see more hate flourishing. You're going to see the quality of life in that city plummet even to newer lows than we could have thought possible. And it's going to be all on Mamdani. It's going to be on the Democrat Party. It's going to be this shift going further left. In other states, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, maybe you've heard of him. He was asked, is Mamdani the leader of the Democrat Party? And this is what we're going to be tasked with doing in the year up to the midterms. We have to make Mamdani the face of the Democrat Party. So Beshear is asked, is he? Is he the new leader of the party? And Andy Beshear offers up a word salad that would make Kamala Harris blush. He says a lot of things while saying nothing at all.
And they are their brand of Democrat, if you will, is they are moderate Democrats. I would not typically ask you about a mayor's race in New York, but given what happened last night, I do want to ask you about it. I mean, because it has raised questions about the direction of the Democratic Party going forward for midterms and potentially for presidential candidates in 28. Zohran Mamdani is a Democratic socialist. That is not your brand of politics in the Democratic Party, but has people saying that he is or should be the direction that the party is going. What do you think of his win, and do you think that he is a leader in the Democratic Party?
I think what we're seeing is it's less about what people call themselves and more about what they're focused on.
Sure.
The winner there in the New York mayor's race was unquestionably more focused on people's struggles, on the inability to afford housing, on the inability to pay the bills at the end of the week and at the end of the month. And I think people are less focused right now on even the policy proposals, but what they want is someone committed to trying to address it. And I think you see that across all the races, and that should be a wake-up call, not just to Democrats, but to everybody.
Again, he says so much without saying anything at all. But we do learn a lot. We're learning that these moderate Democrats want nothing to do with Mamdani because they understand exactly what that means. It means that they're going to lose power because the voters aren't going to get behind it and support them. Andy Beshear's smart to run away from that. It's not what people are calling themselves. It's not even about the policies that they're suggesting. What's it about? It's about grievance politics. Everybody that's younger in this country is a bit angry. They see what the cost of living was for our parents, and they see what the cost of living is for us. Everything has gotten way more expensive. Health insurance, homes, rent, cars. I mean, we can go down the list. Everybody knows it. And it wasn't too long ago, just a couple decades ago, gas is what, $1 and change. You can get an apartment for $600. This isn't a pipe dream. It's not like when I was growing up and I would think of like my dad growing up and it was like, oh, wow, everything was much cheaper when you were a kid. Like it's different than that. It's gone up so much and the wages have stayed the same. The good thing is we have an opportunity to do things in the Republican Party right now today that can impact that as we move toward the midterms. That's key. The Democrats don't have that same option. They just don't. They have guys like Mamdani who are going to whisper sweet nothings and make great promises and then not deliver. We could actually deliver on some things, and we should. This is our wake-up call. The left, they think that this means go even further left. And I say we let them. AOC was taking her victory lap the other night after Zohran won the election. AOC and Zohran Mamdani are the new faces of the American Party. And while she was taking a victory lap, she said that Mamdani won this while fighting a war on two fronts and celebrates that they won this two-front war.
So many people who participated and were brought together by his campaign, because they were not just tasked with defeating a Republican. They were also tasked with defeating the old guard of the Democratic Party that essentially led us to many of the perils of this moment. So he had a two-front war to win, which is what makes his victory so deeply impressive. And I do think that this moment, a lot of people who are willing to talk about party unity when it serves them, but not party unity when it serves everybody, it puts those folks on notice. And I think it also puts folks on notice that we have a future to plan for. We have a future to fight for. And we're either going to do that together or you're going to be left behind.
That's as much of a threat to moderate Democrats as it is to Republicans to wake up. The Democrat Party is going insane fast. Donald Trump commented on the victory of Zohran Mamdani yesterday. We'll bring you the latest audio. We're also waiting for Donald Trump to be making a major announcement, we're hearing, from the Oval Office, and that should be coming right around 11 Eastern, I'm being told, but that would be 10 o'clock our time. When that happens, we will cover it live. A lot to cover today, only a little bit of time. Hang out with us. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. November new deals from Busy Bee. You're going to want to take advantage of this one. $93 or free main line opening special. That's right. They're going to clear your main line for just $93, and if they can't, it's free. This is a November-only deal, and it's a great way to keep your home running smooth before the holidays. There's a lot of other deals going on, too. I love this one. Busy Bee is showing some love and some gratitude this month to our veterans. One lucky veteran is going to win a 50-gallon water heater with installation. Just send them a photo in uniform to enter. Winner's going to be announced on Veterans Day, November 11th. Plus, if you've got a favorite Thanksgiving recipe, share it. You might be upsetting grandma, spoiling a family recipe, but you could win $2,000 off a new HVAC system. The runner-up is going to get $1,000. Winners are going to be announced on Facebook Live on November 21st. So again, I don't want to bury the lead. Don't wait if the drain's backed up. Get the 93 or free mainline opening special now from Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, where comfort meets care. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. BusyBeeHVAC.com.
The fallout from the election of Zohran Mamdani. And is Freddie O'Connell trying to beat Zohran Mamdani to the punch? We've got that and more coming up here at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones. I almost called you Joe Jones.
Oh,
Joan
man.
Jones in the newsroom, the dust-encrusted news closet. My name's Chris Hand. Hey, how are you? Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We also got Mason Fleming producing. You guys are welcome to join us on the phone line, the text line, the YouTube chat, 615-737-9986. However you want to join the show, you're more than welcome to. You're the most important part of the show. Donald Trump responding to Zohran Mamdani's election victory. Not impressed. Not impressed, to say the least. The president dropped quite a bit of gems when it came to Zohran. This was last night on a Fox News interview where he said, they've been trying communism thousands of years. They always tell you, though, they didn't try it right the last time, but we'll see. What does the president think?
I would like to see the new mayor do well because I love New York. I really love New York. When I left New York for Washington, New York was doing really well, but there were some bad signs. The bad sign was a guy named de Blasio. So the signs of de Blasio, that was the beginning, and it was bad.
Yeah, de Blasio was pretty bad. Let's not forget. Do you remember de Blasio awkwardly dancing with his wife in an empty Times Square during the pandemic and then kissing with the masks on? Do you remember that? I remember that.
Unfortunately.
Do you remember that his wife was wearing one of the face masks that had the declassified FBI pedophile triangle symbol on it? Do you remember that?
I don't remember that.
I remember that.
Creepy couple.
Yeah, they're a creepy couple. Do you remember him munching on French fries to try and get you to take a vaccine?
Yes.
I remember that too.
Yeah.
It's like the last thing I wanted to see. It infuriated me to no end. I don't want to watch a grown man eat and try and be talked into something. He's like, you see these fries? Imagine these fries in your mouth. It's like, stop, dude. You're grossing me out.
How can I get them in my mouth? I'm wearing a mask.
And we thought it couldn't get worse, yet here we are.
This one, we're going to look. For 1,000 years, communism has not worked. Communism or the concept of communism has not worked. I tend to doubt it's going to work this time.
Did you see his victory speech?
It's literally never worked. Yeah, I thought it was a very angry speech. Certainly angry toward me, and I think he should be very nice to me. I'm the one that sort of has to approve a lot of things coming to him, so he's off to a bad start.
he's already off to a bad start. Not just with the president, but with his voters. He's like, hey, by the way, all that free stuff, I'm going to need some donations to make it happen. It's not what you promised. It's not what you promised at all. The president had more to say about Zohran Mamdani. We'll bring it to you on the way. Plus, is the president starting to mount some support in the Senate for getting rid of the filibuster? It looks that way. I'm not exactly 100% hopeful that that's going to happen, but at least we're talking about it, and I'm here for it. A couple senators stepping up, saying that they'd be down to nuke the filibuster. We'll bring you all that and more on the way. Plus, we're waiting for the speech or the major announcement from the president in the Oval Office. I keep laughing. Polymarket tweeted out, President Trump said there's going to be a major announcement. And the first comment was, this always feels like McDonald's having a major announcment. It's just the McRib. We'll stay tuned. And when President Trump announces the return of the McRib, you know that America is back. So we'll be waiting for that. We'll cover that live when it happens, and we'll bring you some of this audio on the filibuster next, after the newscast with Joan Jones, which starts right now.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Well, that fallout from the election of Zohran Mamdani in New York City continues. New York City's fire commissioner, Robert Tucker, resigned yesterday, one day after the election, saying he'll stay on the job for a couple of weeks to allow an orderly transition. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee, meantime, inviting New Yorkers to pick up and move here.
I thought it might be a good time to remind you that Tennessee is the best state in the country for doing business. If you are a New York City business owner and you don't like the direction your city has headed, I have a message for you that Tennessee is open for business. We have one of the strongest economies in the country. We have one of the lowest.
Also in Florida, Volusia County Sheriff Michael Chitwood on Facebook inviting NYPD officers into, quote, the welcoming arms of Volusia County. And the New York Post reports wealthy parents have begun to pull their kids out of private schools in and around the city as they prepare to move to another state. Well, it appears Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell is not about to be outdone by Zohran Mamdani. The day after the election, he announced what he's calling the Journey Pass for WeGo buses, describing it as the first ever income-based free fare program for buses. It's an expansion of the current plan that makes welfare recipients eligible for free bus rides. UPS is warning that customers that their packages could be delayed for several days after the crash of that cargo plane in Louisville. At least 12 people are confirmed dead.
Federal investigators say the left engine of UPS Flight 2976 caught fire moments after takeoff and separated from the aircraft. Seconds later, the plane slamming into the ground, igniting a massive fireball. The debris field nearly half a mile wide.
Did everybody make it out? No. What do you mean, no? No!
Horrifying dashcam video capturing the moment the plane falls from the sky, leaving a trail of flames. About 100 firefighters extinguishing the blaze, most of the fuselage gone.
ABC's Alex Perez, the NTSB, saying the investigation could take weeks. And the Tennessee women's basketball team opened the season without one of its top returning players due to some trouble with the law.
Coach Kim Caldwell's dismissed senior guard Ruby Whitehorn from the Lady Vols. The move comes after Whitehorn's second arrest in 3 months, most recently for misdemeanor marijuana possession. She had previously faced charges of aggravated burglary and trespassing in August. Tennessee, ranked 8th nationally, opens its season Tuesday against 9th-ranked NC State. Ken Weaver, WTN News.
That is the latest news. Your weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Let's talk about the Democratic frontrunner for mayor of Minneapolis, shall we? His name is Omar Fateh, and he held a big rally in Minneapolis. And I don't know if you can tell by the video, but there's a stunning lack of American flags and a stunning lack of English being spoken at this rally. Now, the reason Omar is the frontrunner is because the last mayor, Jacob Fry, wasn't woke enough.
As for cooperation with ICE, the answer is no.
This is a guy who actually cried at George Floyd's golden casket. Still not woke enough. Now, the uproar online led to some great questions from one Charlie Kirk. I want to know what you think about it in the comments. Charlie says, how are these people bettering America? Does it look like these people in Minneapolis are assimilating to American culture? And then we have to ask a very important question. What is an American? It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Ann. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. Watch us on Super Talk TV. YouTube and Rumble are the big ones. Hit like, hit subscribe. All the digital platforms that you're watching on or listening on have a share button. Help us grow that digital footprint of the radio station. There are no limits. There's no ceilings to how big that can grow, and you guys can definitely help with that. So hit like, hit subscribe, and hit share. We appreciate it. We've been talking about the reaction to Zohran Mamdani. Donald Trump, not impressed. What about like your average New Yorker, though? The business owners. Daily Wire sent a reporter out to New York City to talk with those business owners to get their vibes on the street in New York the day after electing a communist.
They chose a knucklehead, so we're going to pay for it.
What happens if he opens up the government-run grocery stores?
I'm not with it.
Oh, you don't like the government-run grocery stores?
No.
$30 minimum wage. Can you explain how that might affect businesses?
We're going to hell. It's be over.
How are they going to make payroll? It's just about all the policy that he's trying to do, increasing the workers and the taxes. It's not good.
The minimum wage doesn't help the worker. It just helps the system. Pay more money, more taxes, prices go up.
Overnight, half of them will go out of business.
Well, I'm in a blue state, I'm sorry, but I've been red my whole life. Democrats have always ruined, steal, rob, and lie.
Any thoughts on having him for 4 years?
What I can do is just swallow and try to face it, but it's not easy. We're cooked. We're on the way to becoming a communist state.
City's in trouble. They're in trouble.
Good luck.
We're cooked. City's in trouble. State's in trouble. We're going to be a communist state. Half of these businesses are going to go out of business overnight if you did a $30 minimum wage. It's not going to help the worker. It's going to raise prices. It's going to help the system. These are actual New Yorkers. And I made the statement yesterday a couple times. And I did this just off of gut visceral instinct. And I said, I don't think New Yorkers forgot 9/11 when they elected a radical Muslim communist as mayor. I think that New Yorkers got replaced. And I made that, and that's just my feeling. And as you're starting to see the exit polls, that holds so true. It's crazy. If you were born in New York, you were overwhelmingly going to vote for Cuomo. If you had been in New York for 5 years or less, you were overwhelmingly going to vote for Zohran Mamdani. Make no mistake about it, New Yorkers didn't change. New Yorkers left, and New Yorkers got replaced. And that's what they want to do everywhere. That's what we saw with the open border with Joe Biden. That's what we saw with the Democrats calling them newcomers. You see, they couldn't change your mind, so they're just going to try and replace you. It's insane. The president commented on a bunch of this yesterday. He had a big speech in Miami, and he was talking about communism coming to New York.
If you want to see what congressional Democrats wish to do to America, just look at the result of yesterday's election in New York, where their party installed a communist as the mayor of the largest city in the nation. Remember, I've said we will never have a socialist elected to any post in our country. I used to say that, and I was right. We skipped socialist and we put in a communist instead. That didn't work out too well. But as I've warned for many years, our opponents are hell-bent on turning America into a communist Cuba or socialist Venezuela, and you see what happened to those places. For generations, Miami has been a haven for those fleeing communist tyranny in South Africa. I mean, if you take a look at what's going on in parts of South Africa, look at South Africa, what's going on. Look at South America, what's going on. You know, I'm not going to, we have a G20 meeting in South Africa. South Africa shouldn't even be in the G's anymore because what's happened there is bad. I'm not going. I told them I'm not going. I'm not going to represent our country there. It shouldn't be there. Take a look at what's happening in different parts of South America. Take a look at what's happening in different parts of the world. But now the Democrats are so extreme that Miami will soon be the refuge for those fleeing communism in New York City.
Yeah, Tennessee will be too. We saw Governor Lee saying welcome. I would have sent up a different message. I would have said we're full, and I'm so sorry. Try Arkansas. But I hear it's nice. Have you heard Mississippi has great real estate prices? By all means, check it out. Check it out for yourself. Tennessee, unfortunately, we're full. It's a shame. We'd help if we could. We would. You know, and I don't mean to rail against the legal immigrants, because I do understand when they come from these communist countries, they come here for that better life. They understand firsthand the fears and the realities of communism, and they're not going to vote for it. On the other hand, I can make the argument that we've had way too much illegal migration in this country at the exact same time, and that we need to refocus that energy elsewhere. Yeah, and we need to refocus that energy on youth voters and getting them back to work. Donald Trump has a window of opportunity here to make quite a few announcements, quite a few statements, and quite a few actions before the midterm elections to shore that up. I worry that his messaging is off. We talked that he's going to have an Oval Office announcement, right? And, I said sometimes it feels like the McRib with this guy, and it does. And I love Donald Trump. Make no mistake about it. But I'm now hearing that his major announcement from the Oval Office is going to be on lowering the cost of obesity drugs. This is according to the Washington Post. You're missing the mark. I'm here to tell you. Your announcement should have been about H-1B visas and not letting foreigners come in and steal jobs from Americans and undercut American workers. That's a message that would resonate with the youth. 100%. Obesity drugs? This is the major announcement today. Obesity drugs. And you can make the argument that these and mind you, I'm not a doctor, but I've read a lot. You can make the argument that these obesity drugs aren't good for you in the first place. Like I'm not sure how Maha Ozempic really is for you. I don't know. Maybe if losing weight and lowering your bone density is right for you, then go for it. Ask a doctor. And I'm not knocking people that are on Ozempic. I do think that there's a risk-reward analysis that everyone's going to have to do. But for the president to have a major announcement about Ozempic, what are we doing? What are we doing? In the face of everything we've seen, we got communists being elected in New York City. We have the Democrats going even further left. We can see the momentum of MAGA slowing since the election just a year ago. We need to regain that momentum quickly, because these radical ideas are capturing the minds and the hearts of the youth. And granted, it is in New York City, and that's a different animal. I understand that. But somebody's going to fill that void.
After last night's results, the decision facing all Americans could not be more clear. We have a choice between communism and common sense.
And I would just argue, sir, the common sense decision today would be rallying for the American worker, not rallying to lower the cost of Ozempic for the obese. I think you're missing the mark. Who is speaking into President Trump right now? And even if he wanted to do this, do we have to have a major announcement about it? Just put out a press release and call it a day. No, we're gonna get it. It's a major announcement. A little bit. That's off. It's a little off. We need to be fighting right now, and not fighting for lower weight loss drug prices. It's just stupid. I'm sorry. It's stupid. The fight needs to be on the filibuster front. The fight needs to be for the American worker. That's where we need to focus. President Trump was focused on the filibuster. He was talking about it last night on Fox News, so I do want to give him some credit there. This is going to be a major fight, and it's not one that we're probably going to win, but it's one that we should fight anyway. Just because the chances of winning are low doesn't mean that we shouldn't fight for what's right. And what's right is making sure that President Trump can enact his America First agenda without the hurdles of the Democrat Party. We're seeing what those hurdles are doing right now with the government being closed. We're going to talk about what's happening at these airports and how chaotic it's going to be around Thanksgiving in a little bit. But we could end that very quickly if we could reopen the government. One of the ways that we could do that is nuking the filibuster.
That if we got rid of the filibuster, we would approve so many good things, common sense things, wonderful things, that it would be hard to beat us. If we don't, it's always going to be a slog. So I do say this. I would say absolutely, without question, I have no doubt in my mind, get rid of it. And the Republicans should do it. But they have a number of Republicans that don't agree. And you know what? It's a question. Do I want to lose my relationship with those Republicans that have been very good to me for a long period of time, that voted against the crooked Democrats on impeachment and everything else? Do I want to lose them over it? I think it's a very important point. Do you ever have people that are wrong, but you can't convince them? So do you destroy your whole relationship with them or not? I'd be close to losing it, but probably it is.
I mean, I guess I would pose that same question to you. Does President Trump need to go scorched earth here? I understand his reasoning. I understand his logic. I would prefer the burn it down method, as opposed to the endorsing these same guys who do terrible things all the time. Like, I'm tired of seeing Lindsey Graham get endorsed by the president. It's just, what are we doing? Go scorched earth against them, please. There are some Republicans that are open to nuking the filibuster, some Senate Republicans. Josh Hawley is one of those guys. He was asked about it yesterday on the Will Cain show. And Will says, are you down for that? And it wasn't like a full-throated endorsement, but he does understand the necessity of not letting the Democrats being able to hamstring this president.
Senator, you did signal today that you would be open to the idea of doing what President Trump has asked, and that is doing away with the filibuster. Well, obviously, that would be advantageous right now to reopen the government. Any concerns at all about what that could look like in the future when Democrats have control of the Senate?
Well, I will just say this. Every day that the Democrats force the shutdown to go on, every day that they deny payment to our great federal law enforcement, every day that they hold hostage needy families, the president's arguments about the filibuster get a lot more attractive. And I think what he's saying makes a lot of sense, which is that the Senate needs to work, it needs to produce, Congress needs to produce. And if the Democrats are just going to, if this is going to be the new norm, Will, if they're just going to hold us hostage constantly for the next 3 years, we cannot allow that to happen. So I would just send a message to the Democrats out there. If you don't want that to happen, if you don't want the filibuster to be changed, then come to the table and start getting reasonable.
Couldn't you argue, Senator, they do want that? In fact, they do want to do away with the filibuster, and they could be baiting Republicans into doing just that, doing away with the filibuster.
Oh, they don't want it changed now, Will, but I think they do want the government shut down, and I think they'll do anything they can to derail the Trump presidency. We saw this in the first term. We saw them impeach him twice. We saw them investigate him endlessly. They can't do that right now, but they can keep the government closed. They can try to impede his agenda, and they're doing that.
So are we going to let the Democrats continue to impede the agenda? Are we going to let the Democrats continue to slow us down? When we understand that President Trump got into office on a mandate, I think that we need to give the president every tool at his disposal to get his agenda pushed through, to get these things codified into law. Otherwise, it's going to continue ruling by executive order, and all of those are temporary and all of those are reversible. Tommy Tuberville, he's way more in on nuking the filibuster than Josh Hawley, who doesn't seem totally opposed.
Okay, if we need to bust it, let's bust it. Let's knock it down to 51 and let the Senate know that, listen, the power needs to go to the president and let him get something done. If we don't, we're going to lose our country. It's going to be over with. And so he's got 3 years. He's the last Trump that we'll have in office. He's hard-nosed. He believes in this country. Let's give him some support. If he wants to blow up the filibuster, I'm all for it.
Let's go. That's Tommy Tuberville. We're also hearing promising development from Senator John Cornyn, Republican out of Texas, often accused of being a rhino. He's expressed that he's open to nuking the filibuster for certain situations, such as appropriation bills, which would be pretty big, and government shutdowns. That's per Punchbowl News. That would be 51 votes, not 60. That's a big deal coming from Cornyn. That's a big deal. Can he get anybody else on board? That's going to be the question. I pray that he can. Charlie Kirk once described Zohran Mamdani and his nomination as a distress signal from Gen Z. The White House needs to understand that that's what happened in that election. They're signaling that they understand it, but are they? We'll talk about it next. It's 10:20, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. Health insurance doesn't have to be confusing. Shane can simplify everything for you. If you're tired of health insurances that feel like a math test, if you're tired of confusing bills and fine print, let's make it simple. Cover Nash can do all of that for you. They actually have a brand new nationwide PPO plan that will give you the freedom to pick your own doctors anywhere in the U.S. with no referrals and no red tape. How does this sound for you? Just a $250 deductible, a flat $50 copay for any doctor visit, even specialists. Outpatient surgeries, $250 copay. Hospital stays, just $1,000 total. This is the way to go. You can also get free preventative care, colonoscopies, mammograms. Not that you're excited, but it's there. And here's the kicker. No surprise bills, no hidden fees, just real protection from real providers. And if that's not the perfect fit, Cover Nash works with 75 top-rated companies, so they'll find something that works for your budget and your needs. Shane's at his desk right now. Pick up the phone and give him a call. He'll break it all down for you. 615-465-0023. 615-465-0023. Health insurance made simple. Finally, CoverNash.com.
This is where he talks about you.
Talks about me?
Yeah. Aside from Hand, most of you are clearly intelligent, based in the real world type of people. He seems to be longing for a handmaiden type society. I predict he will be an extreme short timer.
Weird.
Odd. What are you at now? A couple years?
Yeah.
Again, didn't age well.
I love how he said, you guys are smart aside from Hand.
I know.
That's my favorite part.
ICE appears set to open a new headquarters here in Nashville. This one has a very specific mission. And Elon Musk is about to take a $1 trillion paycheck. That and more coming up here at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
1024, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I mentioned a moment ago, Charlie Kirk once called Zohran Mamdani being nominated as a distress signal from Gen Z. This is the clip I was talking about. Charlie was sitting down with Tucker, and he was talking about the rise of Mamdani.
The rise of Mamdani should be it's a coming attraction of what is coming next.
Who's Mamdani?
Zohran Mamdani, the Muslim communist that is running for mayor in New York City, who obviously there's a whole rabbit hole we can go down there. He just looks kind of be like central casting, and his ideas are terrible. He wants the city to run the grocery stores, all that. But I think everyone's not everyone, but most people are missing the point of really what this is. This is yet another distress signal by young people to say, hey, if you're not going to fix our life economically, we're going to get very radical politically. Now let's take a step back. President Trump won the youth vote in many states across the country, in many battleground states. Now, Tucker, 12, 13 years ago when I started Turning Point, If you would have told me that a Republican running for the presidency would be winning the youth vote in Michigan and in Arizona, I'd say no way. It's an incomprehensible accomplishment of what President Trump was able to do. One of the reasons he was able to win younger voters and younger men, especially in big numbers, is that they were trying to get their leaders' attention. They said, hey, this guy, Donald Trump, he is pledging to go fix our economic anxiety. He is loud. He is going to get your attention. Donald Trump was a distress signal by a lot of young people, especially young men, that were stuck in a credit-centric renter economy. And again, this is what is the rise of Mom Donnie. It's just another iteration of this, only from the left.
So what can the administration do to combat it? I mean, you're already seeing the messaging switch. We're seeing that happening in real time. Politico reporting that Trump and his administration will now surge cost of living, economy, and affordability messaging following those elections in New York City. That's per Politico. This is a good thing. And it's not a big ask to change your messaging, but it's also not a big ask to follow through. And that goes to limiting migration. That goes to eliminating H-1B visas. That goes to stopping the big corporations from undercutting American labor, importing new employees. They do it in so many different ways. It's insane. This would be very easy to fix. You just have to want to fix it. I pray that they actually want to fix it. They're going to change the messaging, they say. We're going to change the message. You're already starting to see it. Trump yesterday was talking about the Thanksgiving meal prices, which is a big deal, and I'm not here to discount it, but you're seeing them switch the messaging immediately. On True Social yesterday, Walmart announced that prices for a Thanksgiving dinner is now down 25% since under sleepy, crooked Joe Biden in 2024. Affordability is a Republican stronghold. Hopefully, Republicans will use this irrefutable fact. That's great. That's great. I understand. But try telling that to a 22-year-old kid who is going to mom's for Thanksgiving and doesn't really pay for Thanksgiving and is just trying to, pay for rent and their phone bill and the internet bill and the electricity bill and the car note. I mean, we can go on and on and on. You have a group of disenfranchised youth voters. Let's make some actual moves to show these guys that we're working for them. Please. I'm here for the messaging. I'm here for reiterating the points. But we saw what happens when you just do messaging and you don't have any actions under the Biden administration, right? Like you can change the messaging all you want and say Bidenomics is working, but if it's not actually working, it's going to become static. We need actions from the Trump administration. We just do. We really do. And we have a unique opportunity right now. This is what we need to focus on. Millennials and Gen Z are going to be the largest voting group in the next election. We need to make some moves for them. We have time. Please. They need to wake up and understand what's going on and how to win these guys back, because you're not losing them to the left. You're just losing them. We've had callers like this, the black-pilled young voters. Nothing changes no matter who I vote for. We have an opportunity to prove them wrong before the midterm elections get here, and I pray that the Trump administration does this. We want the American way of life. That's it. It's not a hard ask. It's not a big ask. And we have a unique opportunity right now to do that in this country. Charlie talked about this a lot, and he laid out that this is a spiritual battle we're in. You can make the exact same argument with what we saw in New York City. It absolutely is a spiritual battle, but the American way of life isn't a big ask.
But the spiritual battle is coming to the West, and the enemies are wokeism or Marxism combining with Islamism to go after what we call the American way of life. And the American way of life is very simple. I want to be able to get married, buy a home, have kids, allow them to ride their bike till the sun goes down, send them to a good school, have a low-crime neighborhood, not to have my kid be taught the lesbian, gay, transgender garbage in their school, while also not having them have to hear the Muslim call to prayer 5 times a day. That's important. We want the American way of life, which is, by the way, Christendom. Christians, our sacrifice, our toil, our vision, the outgrowth of the scriptures gave us Western civilization. And this is where I think is a great rallying cry. Doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, doesn't matter if you're Asian, doesn't matter if you're black or white. Everybody, if you are Christian and Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, these two threats are combining forces to come after us. And it's time that the church stands and rises up against it.
Yep. It's time that the church stands, but it's also time that the Trump administration starts putting some actual definitive actions in place to go for those asks that Charlie was talking about, the American way of life, to tackle these issues. They're doing some things, but they could do a lot more. 1031, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Well, she's out. Nancy Pelosi announcing her retirement today.
That is why I want you, my fellow San Franciscans, to be the first to know. I will not be seeking re-election to Congress. With a grateful heart,
the 85-year-old who's now super wealthy is facing what Politico calls a tougher than expected group of primary challengers. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement may be planning to open a national call center here in Nashville. News Channel 5's Holly Laren on what that mission would be, according to some newly obtained documents.
The document says one mission of the center would be to track unaccompanied migrant children. Earlier this year, ICE directed agents to track down those children, many of whom were released to sponsors while their cases moved through immigration courts. Another duty mentioned in the document would be helping agencies in the field by feeding them information from state and local police, relying heavily on the 287G program. That program allows local law enforcement officers to take on the same duties as immigration and customs enforcement agents.
ICE says there's an immediate need for the center, which is expected to handle up to 7,000 calls a day related to the whereabouts of minors. It could be open by June. Despite some opposition from Norway's sovereign wealth fund, it looks like Tesla's shareholders are about to vote in favor of a plan to pay CEO Elon Musk nearly $1 trillion in stock over the next decade. CNBC reporting the board feels Musk is critical to Tesla's future and its ability to compete in robotics and AI. The vote takes place this afternoon. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Ant here from my friends at United Structural Systems, and they got some questions for you. Big questions. So your floor sagging, cracks showing up in the drywall, doors that won't shut right. You know that those aren't small issues at your home. Those are red flags and warning signs. That's a flare being sent up by your foundation, and it's saying, I might be weakening. You see, a solid foundation is going to be the backbone of a strong home, and when it weakens, it's going to get worse with time. It's not going to fix itself. I know. I wish it would, but it won't. You know who will fix it? The guys I stand behind, United Structural System. These guys have been doing it since 1994, keeping Tennessee homes dry, stable, and secure the way they should be. USS uses American-made steel supports built to last with a transferable warranty from I-beams to custom crawl space repairs. They're going to fix it right the first time. So when it comes to your house, don't ignore those warning signs. Don't kick the can down the road. Call the people we trust. United Structural Systems, 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855. United Structural Systems, built on integrity, committing to protecting what matters, your home, USSTN.com. It's 10:38 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris And. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We were talking about Nancy Pelosi earlier, and I recalled this song that had been made during the pandemic where she got set up for going to that hair salon.
Oh.
So in honor of the Nancy Pelosi retirement tour kickoff announcement, we're going to play that song in the lightning round.
Let's go.
Dude, I was searching for it nonstop.
I saw you scrambling over there.
I almost missed. Well, I've been like every commercial break I've been looking for it because me and my wife used to laugh at this song so much.
It's great.
So we're gonna play that for you during the lightning round in honor of Nancy and her retirement tour kickoff. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm here for it.
It's gonna be awesome. I never thought I'd have a chance to play that on the radio, but here we are. Here we are. We found an excuse. Speaker Johnson, a little bit ago, about an hour ago, said Republicans can grow the Republican U.S. House majority in 12 months, especially after red states finished redistricting. This is the kind of fight that we need out of Republicans. We do need to continue the redistricting battle. This is one of the reasons why I'm not going to get upset over Gavin Newsom and his 5 extra seats, because I want the Republicans to do the exact same thing, and I don't want to be hypocritical. It's like, yeah, whatever, man. Go for it. Have at it. Mike Johnson says that we are going to be continuing this redistricting fight.
The third reason is we got a very favorable map. You shouldn't miss this either. I was very bullish even before the current redistricting battles began. As we sit here today, there are 13 House Democrats sitting in districts that President Trump won. There's another 21 of them in districts he came within 5 points of winning. There's only 3, conversely, there's only 3 House Republicans sitting in districts that Kamala Harris won. That's a lopsided map. And after redistricting, we think we'll net a few more seats, handful, maybe 6 to 8. We're in very good position to make history and grow this majority.
We're in good position to make history and grow this majority. Here's the thing that I would just say to Mike Johnson is the same thing that I would say to the Trump administration. You need to focus on young male voters right now super hard, man, or they're going to sit it out. They're not going to have the energy that the Democrats are going to have. The Democrats are going to be easily energized with Orange Man Bad and TDS. They're not going to have any issues getting out there and mobilizing their base to go vote. We're going to have to come to the table with something for young male voters. Make no mistake about it. But I like the fact that they're going to continue with the redistricting fight. We need to continue doing that 100%. And I'm eager to see what happens with the Supreme Court and their decision on the Voting Rights Act, Section 2, on the districts that they've carved out. That should be coming soon, I would imagine. Steve Scalise was also going off about the government shutdown and Chuck Schumer.
But there's nothing strong about denying food to people who are low income and who can't afford it. That's a weak place to be. But there's nothing.
No, there's nothing strong about that. That is a weak place to be. He's absolutely right. And we see what that is doing to the American people. I mean, what's happening right now with the flights is insane. The FAA is going to be cutting 10% of flights at the 40 biggest airports. 10% of flights. I think it's time to start making the argument for privatizing the FAA, right? And air traffic control systems. I think that we would probably save a lot of money. We would do it more efficiently, and we wouldn't have to worry about it anytime there's a government shutdown. CNBC has the story. Transportation Secretary Duffy announced Wednesday afternoon that he will be reducing flight capacity by 10% at 40 major airports starting Friday morning, affecting roughly 3,500 to 4,000 flights a day. It was not immediately clear which airports would be affected. According to CNBC, we have the list, though. He said this is proactive in a news conference. Federal Aviation Administrator Brian Bedford said additional measures could be taken after their initial reduction. This is going to get terrible. I have never been so excited to not be traveling for Thanksgiving. And if you're traveling for Thanksgiving, I'd imagine that you've already bought your flights. Is this going to affect you? These are questions that I would ask. It may. Especially if you're flying to one of these airports. Anchorage International, Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson, Atlanta International, Boston's Logan Airport, BWI in Baltimore, Charlotte Douglas International, Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky International, Dallas Love, DCA, Ronald Reagan Washington National, Denver, Dallas Fort Worth, Detroit Metropolitan, Newark Liberty, Fort Lauderdale, Honolulu, Houston, Washington Dulles, George Bush Houston Intercontinental, Indianapolis International, JFK, Las Vegas McCarran International, LAX, LaGuardia, MCO in Orlando, Chicago's Midway, Memphis International, Miami International, Minneapolis St. Paul International, Oakland International, Ontario International, Chicago O'Hare, Portland International, Philadelphia International, Phoenix Sky Harbor, San Diego International, Louisville International, Seattle Tacoma International, San Francisco International, Salt Lake City, Teterboro, and Tampa International. Some of those are going to be a bigger headache than others. I mean, just knowing from where I've connected coming out of Nashville, I look at Dallas, Fort Worth, and I see headaches. I look at Atlanta, and I see headaches. It is going to be a mess. If they don't get this government reopened, you understand that holiday travel is going to be insane. Insane. And they could open up the government today. This is Secretary Duffy yesterday making this big announcement. I don't think it's an announcement that he wanted to make. It's an announcement that he had to make because they understand what the issues are. You got people waiting hours upon hours to even get into the airport, and then delays on top of delays on top of delays. They're trying to make this as smooth as humanly possible, but there's no real good way to do it.
I anticipate there will be additional disruptions. There will be frustration. We are working with the airlines. They're going to work with passengers. But in the end, our sole role is to make sure that we keep this airspace as safe as possible. The administrator is going to talk about all of the tools we're going to deploy. One of them, though, is going to be that there is going to be a 10% reduction in capacity at 40 of our locations. The administrator is going to tell you that this is data-based. This is not based on what airline travels, has more flights out of what location. This is about where is the pressure and how do we alleviate the pressure.
There's no good way to do it. And the pressure points are going to be pressed here in about, 2-3 weeks? It's really going to ramp up, and it's going to get crazy, man. It's going to get crazy. The Daily Signal put out an article, and I talked about, maybe we privatize the air traffic control and TSA and things of that nature. Maybe that's time. Daily Signal put out an article where they made this argument saying it doesn't have to be this way. Most other industrialized countries have lower cost, more efficient air traffic control systems that are insulated from government spending battles. That's because they're commercialized instead of bureaucratized. Take Canada, for example. It commercialized its air traffic control system in 1996 and now has far more advanced capabilities with just 2/3 the cost of the U.S. Do you hear that? America's hat is beating us at air traffic control. The 51st state is showing us up. Is this a country you want to live in? Are you proud of that? Are you proud of that? I'm not. Similarly, Switzerland's commercialized SkyGuide air traffic control system boasts 95% on-time flights as compared to just about 75% in the U.S. system. In an open letter to the Department of Government Efficiency, transportation expert Robert Poole described U.S. air traffic control as a would-be high-tech service business trapped in a cautious bureaucracy. He explained that air traffic control and the Federal Aviation Administration's reliance on annual funding means that new systems get produced in small batches over a decade or more, with the last recipients not getting equipped before the system's technology may already be obsolete. And how many videos did we see of that? Remember when there was all the scares and the crashes and everybody's nervous, right? And you'd go into these air traffic control systems and you'd be like, what are you guys running, DOS? And it's like all these wires are sticking out everywhere. It looks like hell. But they say government shutdown or not, it's time for policymakers to free American passengers and businesses from bureaucratic inefficiencies and costs by commercializing America's air traffic control. I wonder could they sell it? Could America sell that and make a bunch of money? Somebody would come in and buy that for billions upon billions of dollars, would they not? Pay down the debt, sell air traffic control. Government shutdown or not, policymakers need to do something. They say converting America's air traffic control into a user-funded system has long-standing bipartisan support. dating back to the Clinton administration. And in 2018, the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee voted in favor of legislation that would have converted the air traffic organization into a user-funded nonprofit corporation. President Trump supported that legislation along with even further reforms. So as long as the federal government insists on being in the business of air travel, delays, cancellations, costs, and safety will all remain in the hands of politicians and bureaucrats. That's not exactly what we want or need. Day 37 of the government shutdown. No end in sight. Although there's reports that Democrats are coming to the table a little bit more now because of the elections being over. But it's still a huge mess. I saw a video the other day. It was a man pretending to be a woman in Oakland, furious that food stamps are unavailable. And the local news covered this with a straight face. I don't know how. This is Fox 2 in Oakland. If you're watching on the SuperTalk TV, you'll clearly see what is a man in a dress. But if you're listening, you'll clearly hear what is a man pretending to be a woman, complaining about the lack of food stamps.
This Oakland resident moved to tears, had only been eating one meal a day.
I lost my job and I was sick for a couple months because I expired by me. And I cannot work at the time.
They could just call 211 and they'll get connected with a representative that can kind of talk through their situation and help them figure out what support they might need.
That was Wendy Barrios, the concerned citizen, almost moved to tears. The man who looked capable of working to me. I don't know. Listen, maybe the mental health isn't really up to snuff. You can make the argument that you wouldn't want to work in an office with someone with clear mental health issues. I'd also wonder the citizenship status of that individual, but maybe I'm asking too many tough questions. Elsewhere, we're learning that illegal aliens are taking a lot of Medicaid and Medicare benefits. Dr. Oz posted this video yesterday, and Dr. Oz has been exposing this stuff left and right. This is the fraud that the Democrats tell us is not happening. And when we say that they're fighting for illegal aliens to get health insurance, and that's why they won't reopen the government because we won't agree to that, they tell us it's not happening. Dr. Oz begs to differ.
When the president offered me this job, he told me to protect our most vulnerable by rooting out fraud, waste, and abuse. I'm sharing these stories so you understand the stakes of our enforcement. So here's the situation. 6 states believe that they should be allowed to pay for illegal immigrants on the state level on their own to receive free health care. Now, free health care insurance attracts illegal immigrants and makes them unwilling to leave, even if we offer them cash. Equally importantly, I worry that federal taxpayer money will be siphoned towards these states and hurt the 44 states who disagree with attracting illegal immigrants with free insurance. In fact, Congress is shut down right now because Democratic senators don't like the One Big Beautiful Bill, which corrals this kind of fraud in Medicaid. We decided to investigate ourselves. I didn't really trust these 6 states. We found already $1.3 billion has been inappropriately taken from federal taxpayers in just the past few months. We just clawed back $300 million, which signals that the 6 states, they already know, they acknowledge that this is an embarrassing reality. We need to protect our most vulnerable and send a clear message that other countries should take care of theirs. Opening the government would be a step in the right direction.
Amen. $1 billion, over $1 billion in tax dollars for illegals' health care and Medicare and Medicaid, according to Dr. Oz. This is what the Democrats say isn't happening, and we're just conspiracy theorists for even pointing it out. 1051, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here, and with 4 kids, 2 dogs, you understand that my carpets take the brunt of the punishment in my home. My wife and I used to stress out. We'd be like, guys, take your shoes off. Oh, you ever wipe your dog's paws on the mat? I wish I could train my dogs better because they could do it themselves, but I'm awkwardly wiping the dog's paws. We don't overly stress about it anymore because we got Zero Res on speed dial. $45, any room. It's the Maha of carpet cleaning. They use their exclusive ZR water. No soap, no harsh chemicals, no residue, which means the carpets and the upholstery don't just look insanely clean. They're going to stay clean longer. This is clutch for me and my family. It's going to be clutch for your family as well. And it's not just carpets. They do the works. Air ducts, tile, rugs, upholstery, Perfect if you got little feet pitter-pattering around your home like we do, dragging in all kinds of dirt. Give them a call today. $45, any room, 615-535-9376. That's the number for Zero Res in Nashville, 615-535-9376. And you can always book online, ZeroResNashville.com.
ICE plans to open a national call center right here in Nashville. Details coming up at 11 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
A national call center?
National call center to track unaccompanied migrant children.
Let's go. I'll call them and say thank you. We need more of that. We do. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Speaking of ICE, have you seen the new hoax that they're pushing? It started with an Illinois rep lying about an illegal alien immigration enforcement operation at a Chicago area preschool. This has been a big story. Mike Quigley, he posted this on X, local rep in Illinois, and he says, ICE isn't going after the worst of the worst. This morning, they took a preschool teacher without a warrant in front of children in my district. Oh my gosh, that's terrifying, Mike. Let's watch the video. and they're screaming, and it's a daycare, and they're dragging somebody outside. That's what's going on. They're very upset that they're targeting preschools. Now, if this were the case, I would tend to agree. Like we don't need to be sending ICE agents to go after illegal aliens at the preschool, at the daycare. Wait until they clock out. Just get them in the parking lot. But listen, this is not even the real story. Homeland Security posted the real story saying you are deliberately misrepresenting the facts. ICE law enforcement did not target a daycare. And we're only at this location because the female illegal alien fled inside. Okay. So they were chasing down an illegal alien who fled inside a daycare. And Mike Quigley has an issue with that. Name any other scenario where a criminal would be fleeing law enforcement, go inside a daycare, and you go, guys, pull back. That's a daycare. We can't go in there. Honestly. They say, here's the real story. Officers attempted to conduct a targeted traffic stop of this female illegal alien from Colombia. Officers attempted to pull this vehicle over, which was registered to a female illegal alien with sirens and emergency lights, but the male driver refused to pull the vehicle over. Law enforcement pursued that vehicle before the assailant sped into a shopping plaza where he and the female fled the vehicle. They ran into a daycare and attempted to barricade themselves inside the daycare, recklessly endangering the children inside. The illegal alien female was arrested inside a vestibule, not in the school. Upon arrest, she lied about her identity. The vehicle is registered to in her name, though she claims that she didn't know the man who was driving the car and just picked him up from a bus stop. Facts, including criminality and information on the male assailant, are forthcoming, and we will update the public with more information as soon as it becomes available. So while the Democrat rep says, they said they were going to go after the worst, and they're targeting daycares. It's like, actually, dude, 2 criminals ran into a daycare and tried to barricade the door. Name any other instance where we wouldn't want law enforcement to go guns a-blazing into that and save them kids. Is there any other situation? No. This is what they do for cheap political points. And Rep. Mike Quigley, he should have known better before posting this, because he's posting mis and disinformation, brother. That's mis and disinformation right there. Just fact check it before you go posting. The worst part is he probably knew. And even worse than that, while we can explain to you what really happened, the low IQ Democrat voters, they're still just stunned and shocked. And they're not going to look into this any further. It's 11 o'clock. Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Eleven o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. Right now, Channel 4 reporting breaking news. A hospital's on lockdown because a suspect is hiding in it. This is going to be St. Thomas West on Harding Pike. ICE plans to open a national call center in Nashville to help track unaccompanied migrant children for possible deportation. The center would operate around the clock, handling up to 7,000 calls a day from law enforcement nationwide. Federal documents say the facility should be up and running by June 2026, though critics warn it could harm vulnerable minors and erode trust in immigrant communities. ICE hasn't explained why Nashville was chosen. Meanwhile, in our nation's capital, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries responds to the big news that former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is retiring.
Her tenure has been iconic, legendary, historic, and transformational.
Stephen Portnoy.
Announcing she'll retire at the end of this term, Nancy Pelosi will forever hold a place in history as the first woman to be elected Speaker of the House. Now 85, she spent nearly 4 decades in Congress and developed a record of remarkable effectiveness on the House floor. That record includes passage of the Affordable Care Act, the Dodd-Frank financial reforms, and the repeal of the ban on gays in the military. Pelosi left her role as leader of her party in 2023, and Democrats gave her the honorary title, Speaker Emerita.
And the Senate going to vote today on a war powers resolution to block U.S. military strikes in Venezuela. The measure, led by Senator Tim Kaine, would require congressional approval before any new hostilities. This follows reports of recent U.S. strikes on alleged drug trafficking boats and covert operations inside Venezuela. The vote's expected to be close after a similar effort failed last month. And President Trump set to announce a deal to cut prices on popular weight loss drugs. The agreement with Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk will make the lowest doses of medications like Wegovy and Zepbound available for about $149 a month. That's down from more than $1,000. The plan could include Medicare and Medicaid coverage for certain patients. And Eli Lilly's new weight loss drug, eloralintide, delivered impressive results in a mid-stage trial. Patients on the highest dose lost about 20% of their body weight over 48 weeks compared to less than 1% on a placebo. The drug also improved blood pressure, cholesterol, other health markers, mostly mild side effects. Lilly plans to launch phase 3 trials next month, aiming to compete with popular GLP-1 drugs like Wegovy and Zepbound. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners. You get those at betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere. iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch the show. Super Talk TV is up and running. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. Those are the big ones. Hit like, hit subscribe. Help us grow the digital footprint of the radio station. Larry in Clarksville has been holding for way too long, and I apologize, Larry. You want to talk about the filibuster, and I'm all ears to talk about the filibuster. What do you got, man?
Well, a couple of quick comments. since I did hold so long, Tennessee and WTN is blessed to have such a great Canadian Christian man here.
This guy.
No, I'm sorry. I had to get that in.
What are you talking about?
Exactly. Hey, because I worked with the Canadian Air Force for a long time. I was a combat controller, Chris. I got out in '83 before you were even born.
Yep, I was -5.
Yeah. The FAA is still using the same system they were using when I got out in '83. That's how old and crap showed the system is that they are using.
Yep.
But to get back to the filibuster, and I consider you to be a very intelligent man, much smarter than I. So I want to understand something real quick. Is it true we only need 51 votes for the filibuster?
If we got rid of the filibuster, we could pass all of our bills with a simple majority. That's the key. And
Well, I
we
mean,
could
but
we
how
could
many
we
votes
could
do we
we
need to
could
get rid
get
of the filibuster?
yes, we could get rid of it with 51.
All right, so what if we nuke the filibuster, get rid of it, get all the stuff done that we want, and then before elections, we just put it back in? Can we not do that?
I mean, I'm assuming that we could do that. Nobody's really floating that idea. They're just like, well, then the Democrats are going to do it, and if they got back into power, then they could remove it. But my big thing is that I don't believe the Democrats are going to go, well, the Republicans didn't do it, so we shouldn't. Like I don't view that as a realistic option at all.
I think they'll do it in a heartbeat.
100%. And I think the only reason they didn't do it last time is Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. And guess what? Neither of them are around anymore. And you're seeing the party. You're seeing the party going further and further and further left.
Exactly, sir. And that's why I appreciate your opinion. You're a very intelligent guy. So thank you. But I just thought I'd float that out there, and maybe that was an original idea. Hell, it might be the first I ever had.
I love it. Well, Larry, man, I appreciate you holding as always. You doing good? Everything good with you, brother?
Man, I'm still above the daisies. I'm glad to be living. I fell a week ago Tuesday, landed on my face in my kitchen, broke my already broken face.
Oh no!
It was kind of a mess for about a week, but I'm getting better. I'm doing okay.
All right, man. Well, we'll be praying for you, Larry, and I appreciate the call, and I appreciate you holding as long as you did.
Yes, sir. Good luck. I love you, man.
Hey, love you too, brother. Appreciate it. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the show. 615-737-9986. Whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about. There's a few things happening. Did Donald Trump give his weight loss drug speech yet? Did that happen? They said that was going to be around 11 a.m. Eastern, right? 11 a.m. Eastern. Oh no, he did.
He's talking right now.
He's talking right now. Do you want to pull this up?
I can pull it up.
This is one of the things that I love Trump. Make no mistake about it. But if the big announcement is weight loss drugs, like, what are we doing? And that is the big announcement.
But I'm happy about it. In addition, Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk have agreed to provide all of their other medications to Medicaid at most favored nations prices. Most favored nations, meaning that you will pay the lowest price anywhere in the world. That's what you're going to pay. Whereas before they paid low prices and we paid, thousands of percentile ahead more. And to sell these drugs to all consumers at deeply discounted prices via TrumpRx.com. When is TrumpRx.com opening?
The site is open. It will launch in terms of giving people prices before the end of the year.
Okay. Got to make sure it's successful. It's got my name on it. I don't want to be like so many others. I don't want to be like the train they're building in California. Okay.
Here, pull that down for a second. We'll switch the source so we can get the video up as well. I like the idea of slashing medicine prices, but it does seem like he's leading. The lead here is the weight loss drug prices. And I know a lot of Americans use them, but I just don't know if this is the right messaging that we need when we're tackling affordability and the economy.
The beautiful Obama building that he's building in Chicago for the museum, which is now shuttered up and dead. They got it up, and they couldn't finish. It's about, would you say, 5 years behind schedule? And about 2,000% over budget. Then he tells us how to run Medicaid.
That building looks like
Many
a
of the most
prison,
widely
too.
used drugs will be available for 60% off, or even more than that. In addition, all new medications introduced by Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk to the American market will be sold at the heavily reduced most favored nations price. Most favored nations price, that's the best, because they have been thousands of percent lower than what we were selling in many cases. Furthermore, Eli Lilly is investing $27 billion. That's all? And Novo Nordisk will invest $10 billion. That's all? That's peanuts. In the United States to reshore, do a big domestic manufacturing job in the facilities they're going to spend. So Eli Lilly spent $27 billion. Novo is spending $10 billion in the United States. So they're building new plant and equipment. That's part of what will be $20 or $21 trillion this year. There's never been anything like it. I know nobody talks about it, but there's never been anything like, I would say, you would say, that there's never been anything like this ever, whether it's China or Europe, or you could take all of Europe, there's never been anything like this. So we're already past 17 trillion. We're going to be, I think by the time the year closes out, we'll have investments of over $21 trillion based on the way we're going. And by the way, tariffs are very important. Without tariffs, perhaps it could be a little bit different, to put it mildly. Tariffs are so important. The decision in the Supreme Court would be devastating to our country if we got a negative, devastating if we got a negative decision. But this is a great day for American health and healthcare, and for all of American patients. These are things that are miracles to have this happen. And they're, we're bringing all our medicines, again, because of tariffs, we're bringing all our medicines. If you remember where during COVID, we made almost no medicine here. We had to go to China, we had to go to Ireland, we had to go to other places.
It's a national security issue.
To get our we didn't make it here. Now we're making it, we'll soon be making it all here, again, because of tariffs. And my election, but because of tariffs much more. For years, politicians have talked about making health care affordable, but my administration is actually doing it. Americans deserve the best health care in the world, and we're now getting the best health care at the lowest price. So I'd like to ask somebody who's doing a fantastic job, Secretary Kennedy, to say a few words, followed by Dr. Oz, Dr. Klop, and then Eli Lilly, CEO David Ricks, and Novo Nordisk CEO Mike Dustar. These are incredible stars in that business. Like Dustar is a big star. And I can tell you that David Ricks is one of the hottest people in the world in business, but the business that he's in is pharmaceutical. And the job he's done with Eli Lilly is incredible. Both of these gentlemen, they really are stars in the true sense. And it's an honor to have you in the White House. And go to it, Bobby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to start by thanking you, Mr. President, for declaring war on chronic disease in this country. This is something no American president has ever done. If we want to solve the chronic disease crisis, we have to tackle obesity. Obesity is the #1 driver of chronic disease. 50% of our adult population are obese or overweight, and it drives about 50% of healthcare costs in this country. Diabetes, cardiac diseases, we are going to see a decline because of this historic agreement. We're going to see a decline in costs, but also, more importantly, in the afflictions themselves. President Trump is the friend of the forgotten American. Obesity is a disease of poverty, overwhelmingly. And these drugs have only been available for people who have wealth. At one point, the majority of prescriptions, the highest concentration of prescriptions in this country, was the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And what about the people who live in rural areas, who live in food deserts? What about the people in urban areas who live in food deserts and are suffering from obesity?
I mean, listen, I get where they're all coming from, and I understand it. And yes, obesity is an epidemic in this country. But when you're trying to make the argument to young voters, this isn't it. It's just not. And I do wonder what RFK Jr. really thinks about Ozempic. It was never intended to be a weight loss drug. It just so happened to work that way. And you see the horror stories online when it comes to bone density, osteoporosis, what these drugs are doing to Americans. I have some serious questions. Listen, I don't think there's an easy way to lose weight. There's no magic pill. You just have to take your own risk-reward analysis. Some people, you absolutely need some help, and I understand that. Other people, maybe you need a gym membership, but you're not exactly willing to put in the work. I know it's harsh, but could that be the reality? I think so. I'm not a huge fan of these weight loss drugs. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm also not a doctor, so talk to your doctor and see what's right for you. My ears perked up when they started talking about the tariff case with the Supreme Court. A couple people are pretty confident that they're going to land in the president's favor on the Supreme Court when it comes to the tariffs. Scott Bessent was talking about this yesterday, as was Howard Lutnick, and both of them seem pretty confident. But I'll tell you what, when you hear the Supreme Court justices arguing about the tariff case yesterday, the one that caught my attention was Gorsuch and this exchange that he had with John Sauer, where he said, well, what's stopping a Democrat president from putting a 50% tariff on gas-powered cars? And hang on, I got too much audio running in the background. This argument makes sense to me. It does. I still think that you need the president to have the powers of tariff, because if he doesn't have tariff powers, he could do a full embargo against the country. He still could, but he wouldn't be able to tariff them and do something a bit less. But I do understand this argument from Gorsuch. Listen to this.
Question, though. Could the president impose a 50% tariff on gas-powered cars and auto parts to deal with the unusual and extraordinary threat from abroad of climate change?
It's very likely that can be done. Very likely.
I think that has to be the logic of your view.
Yeah, in other words, obviously this administration would say that's a hoax, it's not a real crisis, but...
I'm sure you would.
Yes, but that would be
I'm sure you would. I get the logic. I get the thought process, and that is definitely something that we would have to think about, but we still need to be able to give the president every tool in his toolbox to use to make the country great again. Scott Bessent wasn't really deterred by the arguments yesterday, and he was on Fox Business yesterday, and he's saying, no, I think it's going to land in the president's favor.
Larry, I came away very optimistic. The Solicitor General presented a strong case for the president's use of the IEEPA, the emergency tariff powers, that President Trump has used to balance trade, to negotiate with the Chinese on fentanyl, to secure rare earth magnets, to get the Indians to stop buying Russian oil. And the Solicitor General made a fantastic case that the purpose of the tariffs is to rebalance global trade. We were in an economic emergency. We were near a tipping point, and you and I know exactly what that looks like. And President Trump has brought the U.S. back.
So that's Scott Bessent's argument, and it's hard to argue with that when you see the trade deals coming in and you see trade barriers being broken down because of the way the president has been using the tariffs. Howard Lutnick was on with Hannity, and he said, guys, take it from me. The Supreme Court is going to side with President Trump, and President Trump is going to win this case.
In all seriousness, this case matters, I believe, for more than any other reason, not only economically, national security. How do you think it went today?
Oh, this is the Super Bowl. This was the Super Bowl of trade, right? Trade, and this was it. The only thing missing was walk-on and walk-off music and a halftime show. I mean, this was it. And there were fireworks all the time. But think of some of these questions, like Justice Kavanaugh says, imagine a meeting in the Oval Office with the president where, and this was his cross-examination of their lawyer, and he says, you've said he could embargo, he could cut off trade with any country, and their lawyer said, I agree. He goes, imagine telling the president in the Oval Office, sir, you can blow up trade with this country. And he goes, that seems too much. Can I put a tariff on them and do a little less? And they say, no, sir, you can't. And Justice Kavanaugh says, that seems like a very odd donut to me. I mean, how could you let that happen? It just didn't make sense. The justices were on the president's side. You're hearing it here from me. President Trump is going to win this case.
That's Howard Lutnick last night on with Hannity saying that the president will be winning the tariff case. So time will tell, and we'll be following it closely no matter what they decide. If they decide against the president, we just have to move on. Like, you understand that, right? Like, okay, what's next? Because we have a year until midterms. We can't dwell on bad news for too long. We have to continue working and fighting for what's right and what's good and what's going to make the country better. I hope that the Supreme Court sides with the president. I truly do. And if you take Howard Lutnick's take his words at face value, take Scott Bessent at face value, it seems like they may. But if they don't, we just got to report it and then go, okay, what else can we do to continue making this country great again? It's 11:23, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand. Excited to tell you about what's going on at the Pancake Pantry. We don't often get to talk about the Pancake Pantry, but we'll get to today. It's an iconic restaurant staple in Nashville. Everybody knows about it. And they're going to be showing gratitude on Veterans Day, offering free meals to active and retired military on November 11th. How awesome of a deal is that? This special offer is available at both the Hillsborough Village location and the downtown restaurant location at 220 Malloy. The complimentary meal features guest choice of any entree listed on the menu. A valid military ID is required to participate in the Veterans Day promotion. This is all from the Pancake Pantry, founded in 1961. It is a Nashville tradition, known for its 23 varieties of scratch-made pancakes. The Pancake Pantry offers the best food, the friendliest service at both of their locations, the original in Hillsborough Village and downtown location at 3rd and Malloy. Batters and syrups crafted from secret recipes. They're made fresh daily, a perennial favorite on the Nashville scene's Best of Nashville and the Tennesseans' Best of Music City list. The Pancake Pantry boasts a large variety of breakfast and lunch offerings. Learn more at thepancakepantry.com. And veterans, stop by the Pancake Pantry on Veterans Day and get yourself your free meal. Thepancakepantry.com.
For many of us, generators are becoming a must-have household appliance. From unpredictable weather to surprise outages, it's better to be safe than sorry. Generator Supercenter of Nashville offers fast and easy installations with 24/7 service and monitoring to all brands of generators and expert repairs done right. Our mission is to make owning a backup generator simple and easy. Visit your local store today or check us out online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
St. Thomas West Hospital in Nashville is on lockdown after a suspect led authorities on a chase and then ran inside to hide. We've got the very latest on that coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
2 days in a row, wild police chases in Nashville. That's insane. Absolutely insane. Ken Weaver's going to have the latest for you here in the headlines. Praying that everything is resolved safely and quickly. Shout out to the police doing the job that nobody really wants to do. We were talking about President Trump a little while ago. He's inside the Oval Office. He's making weight loss drugs more affordable for Americans. I understand that there's a lot of Americans that are overweight that do use these drugs. And I'm not knocking you. I just think that there needs to be a risk-reward analysis for everybody. And if we're looking at the risk-reward analysis in the state of the country, I think there are a lot more pressing issues to be addressing than weight loss drugs. How many times are we going to address the cost of medications? How many times are we going to address the most favored nations? I celebrated when it happened the first time, but it just seems like this is a rehash of a rehash of a rehash. Can we talk about H-1B visas? Can we address the problems that are affecting younger voters? Millennials and Gen Z are going to decide the midterms. We need to recalibrate the messaging, and we need to re-include these kids in the discussion. Make no mistake about it. If we don't, we're going to see what happened in New York happening all over the country come 2026. There's still time, but I just hope that somebody is in the president's ear saying, man, let's step this up. Let's change the messaging. Let's change the delivery. Because if we don't, we're going to have a lame duck president. We are. I don't want that. I want the Trump administration to be able to do whatever they need to do, however they need to do it. I trust this administration to make the right choices. But I don't know, man. Will they? Will they? We'll see. We'll see. On the way, we got the lightning round. Nancy Pelosi's retiring. Did you hear that? We actually reported this on our show last week. I think we even did a breaking news sounder for it.
Yep.
Well, she's officially made the announcement. There's a very somber ad. We're going to talk about that. Barack Obama put out a message, too. Barry O's statement. We'll bring you that as well. And more in the lightning round. That happens after the newscast with Ken Weaver, which starts right now on Super Talk.
.30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. And right now, a Nashville hospital is on lockdown. This all started in Williamson County, where a suspect led deputies on a chase that ended with this suspect hiding in St. Thomas West on Harding Pike. You've got several agencies, including Metro Police, assisting Williamson County Sheriff's deputies to locate the suspect. News 2 reports that this suspect is a sex offender. Later today, officials to announce the creation of a Homeland Security Task Force in Nashville. Multiple reports say ICE wants a national call center in Nashville to help locate unaccompanied migrant children. It would operate 24/7 and handle 6,000 to 7,000 calls per day related to immigration enforcement. And President Trump says the makers of popular weight loss drugs have agreed to a deal today that slashes prices on those drugs.
Most favored nations prices, most favored nations, meaning that you will pay the lowest price anywhere in the world. That's what you're going to pay.
This agreement with Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk will make low-dose versions of Wegovy and Zepbound available for about $149 a month, down from more than $1,000. And new research from the American Academy of Neurology shows heavy alcohol users, people that consume more than 3 drinks per day, are at a higher risk of suffering an intracranial hemorrhage. They're at higher risk.
You got this, brother.
I might be having one right now. A higher risk of stroke at a younger age and an increased risk of several cancers. ABC News medical correspondent Dr. Tara Narula explains.
When they looked at those heavy alcohol users, they saw that on average they had larger size bleeds by about 70%. They tended to be about 11 years younger, so in their 60s as opposed to in their 70s. Twice as likely to have deeper brain bleeds, longer hospital stays, more likely to go from being independent before their stroke to then being dependent and needing assistance.
And that's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand. Tomorrow's the day, our big All-Pro Dad Experience event at Nissan Stadium, Friday, November 7th. It's going to be so cool, and I'm really excited to be partnering with All-Pro Dad in general. All-Pro Dad has a mission to help fathers lead and love their families, and they've been doing it for 3 decades. Founded by Coach Tony Dungy and Mark Merrill, the mission is to equip men for the most important job of all, being a dad. Everything else is secondary. You got to raise good kids. Here's how it works. 1 minute a day with their play of the day emails. It gives you a little bit of insight, a little bit of motivation, a little bit of a good push forward. Then you spend an hour a week listening to short podcasts on fatherhood. This is where the learning and the studying comes in. Then an hour a month through school chapters connecting dads with their kids. We have 80 school chapters with All Pro Dad here in Tennessee. Then 1 day a year at an All Pro Dad experience. That's the event that's happening tomorrow at Nissan Stadium. It's going to be packed with interactive games, life lessons, and quality time with your kids. All Pro Dad is putting the work in. Now, you might be thinking, I'm a single mom. Can I come? Yes, absolutely. You might be thinking, I'm a grandparent. Can I come? Yes, absolutely. While the mission is about connecting dads for the best job that they have, really the goal is raising good kids. You guys are more than invited. Go to allprodad.com to register, subscribe, and find a chapter near you. Be the dad your kids deserve. Be an All Pro Dad.
Hey dads, want an epic night with your kids? Head to Nissan Stadium for the Nashville All-Pro Dad Experience. On November 7th from 6 to 8:30 p.m., you'll make memories with your family as you run on the field and enjoy bonding activities. Expect fun, laughs, and fatherhood tips from Tennessee Titans long snapper Morgan Cox to help you be a better dad. All for less than a trip through the drive-thru. Just $35 gets you an unforgettable time with your kids. Register today at allprodad.com/events. The Nashville All-Pro Dad Experience is brought to you by Amazon, Arby's Foundation, Coca-Cola Consolidated, Colgate Bright Smiles Bright Futures, and Pinnacle Financial Partners.
It's 11:37, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. We got a lot to get to. I can't believe it's already time for the lightning round. Can you believe it's already time for the anecdotally known number one segment on the Chris Hand Show? Let's hit the launch button. It's the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
Yeah, we do it every day at this time. All the stories that we didn't have a chance to get to, the stories that wouldn't fill a whole segment, but we wanted to make sure that we highlight. We do it in the lightning round, and we do it for you. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the lightning round. First story in the lightning round is none other than Nancy Pelosi retiring. You guys, this is a big deal. She released a pretty long video, about a 6-minute video, saying thank you to San Francisco. And, you know, it was really like sad music and like really like thought provoking and deep. And we got a clip of it here.
This week, we saw cold, hard evidence of the Trump campaign, indeed the Trump family, eagerly intending to collude possibly with Russia.
Oh, sorry, that was the wrong clip. My bad.
Whoops.
My bad. Goodbye, vodka skeleton. We will miss you. We will miss you. Barack Obama's going to miss her. He posted a nice long thing. Said, for almost 4 decades, Nancy Pelosi has served the American people and worked to make our country better. No one was more skilled at bringing people together and getting legislation passed, and I will always be grateful for her support of the Affordable Care Act. Obamacare. Remember what she said? You got to pass the bill to find out what's in the bill? You got to pass it to find out what's in it, guys. She made us proud to be Democrats and will go down in history as one of the best speakers the House of Representatives has ever had. Nancy, thank you for your leadership and your friendship. Michael and I wish you and Paul the best in this next chapter. That's so sweet. So kind. Congratulations. So when we were doing this, there's this song that happened. Do you remember Nancy Pelosi when she went to the hair salon during COVID?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of a big deal.
I don't know who originally put this together, but it's one of my favorite parodies of all time. And I want to play this for you. It's Trump and Nancy performing It Was a Setup, because that's what she went to the hair salon and she didn't wear a mask, and she said that it was a setup and that she apologizes for falling for the setup. And somebody on the internet at the time took it, and my wife and I laughed at this. I've probably watched this like over 1,000 times, because this came out about 5 years ago now. Like, this is early, fresh in the pandemic. We would laugh at this nonstop. There's a video to go along with it if you're watching on Super Talk TV. This is Donald Trump featuring Nancy Pelosi. It was a setup.
And then I see a picture, I say, Nancy Pelosi, well, where's her mask? And I'll tell you what, she must have treated that beauty salon owner pretty badly. She uses the salon, and the salon turned her in. I was set up. Nancy, you're not supposed to get set up. I was set up. Nancy, you're not supposed to get set up. You must wear your mask. You have to wear your mask. You must wear your mask. You have to wear your mask. I was set up. Nancy, you're not supposed to get set up. How much do they hate Nancy Pelosi? This is the big crazy Nancy. This is like the biggest story. Highly overrated person. Let me just say, they just turned off the camera because they don't want me saying that. And the salon turned her in. If she was set up, then she shouldn't be leading. You know what she should have done, honestly? She should have said, I made a mistake. And then she made a terrible mistake. I was set up. Nancy, you're not supposed to get set up. I was set up. Nancy, you're not supposed to get set up. You must wear your mask. You have to wear your mask. You must wear your mask. You have to wear your mask. I was set up. Nancy, you're not supposed to get set up.
As it turns out, it was a setup. So I take responsibility for falling for a setup. I don't wear a mask when I'm washing my hair. Do you wear a mask when you're washing your hair? I've been there many, many times. I always have a mess. Since we passed the bill, I always have a mess. Now I just had my hair washed. I just came out of the bowl. Now I just had my hair washed, and that's all I'm going to say. I was set up.
Nancy, you're not supposed to get set up. You're not supposed to get set up. Good riddance. Nancy Pelosi, she's going to start a retirement tour. We're doing retirement tours now. We're announcing a year out because why not? I got another story for you here in the lightning round. There it is. A little delayed. Storm's off in the distance. That's okay.
A little delay.
There's a little delay. It's all right. That's all right. We got more stories in the lightning round. All right. So this one's fun. Scott Jennings tweeted this out a little while ago, about an hour ago. I'm constantly looking for the newest stories for you in the lightning round. He tweeted out this story and he goes, Scott Jennings said, I was reliably told that this was impossible. And he quote tweets a story that highlights the mayor of Coldwater, Kansas, Jose Ceballos. And it's been revealed that he was a foreign national who not only got elected while being not being a citizen, but has been voting in federal and state elections since 2022. So it's a mayor of a town who's an illegal alien and voting in our elections. This isn't real, right, guys? Is this not real? I think, is this AI or is this, it's reality.
The mayor of Coldwater accused of election fraud. The charges come hours after he secured a second term in office. Attorney General Chris Kobach charged Mayor Jose Joe Ceballos with 6 felonies, 3 counts each of voting without being qualified and election perjury. Kobach claims Ceballos is lawfully living in the U.S., but is a citizen of Mexico, making him ineligible to vote. The AG alleges the mayor illegally cast ballots in the August 2024 primary and November 2022 and 2023 general elections.
In large part, our system right now is based on trust. Trust that when the person signed the registration or signs the poll books saying that he's a qualified elector or that he is a United States citizen, that the person is telling the truth.
What's wrong, guys? The honor system isn't working anymore? I thought the honor system was foolproof.
We reached out to Mayor Ceballos for comment, but have not heard back yet. The Coldwater City Council, though, released a statement on social media saying the mayor called them in for a special meeting over the noon hour to, quote, discuss recent events that have transpired with the Kansas Attorney General's office. While the recent allegations involving the mayor are understandably concerning, we will allow the proper legal process to take its course before making any further comments, unquote.
Oh, you must be a Democrat. We're going to wait for the legal process to do its thing. If that happened to a Republican, every Republican would be calling for their head and crucifying them because that's what we do. We don't let the legal process play out. We have to go for their throats. Democrats don't play that same game. Weird. Got another story for you here in the lightning round.
I'm in danger.
Oh.
Mouse was over the wrong one.
That's all right. It kind of flowed.
A little bit.
Kind of flowed. I'm in danger. Like, what the hell is that? Speaking of I'm in danger, I can radio segue this into gold. You ready? The kids are in danger.
Oh, no.
If you're letting them on Instagram. So Instagram has rolled out all these new features, and they're saying, we're doing your PG-13 by design. Your account is going to have PG-13 settings. Well, they're not going to be able to say that anymore. The Motion Picture Association is asking Meta to stop referring to content shown to teen accounts on Instagram as guided by PG-13 ratings, saying it is misleading and could erode trust in its movie rating systems. They got lawyered up for this. Said, you need to stop doing this. A lawyer on behalf of the MPA, the Motion Picture Association, sent Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, a cease and desist letter asking the tech giant to immediately and permanently disassociate its teen accounts and AI tools from the MPA's rating system. Instagram had announced last month that its teen accounts will be restricted to seeing PG-13 content by default. The Motion Picture Association, which runs the film rating system that established these ratings nearly 60 years ago, said that at the time, it was not contacted by Meta prior to its announcement. The MPA says Meta's claims that teen accounts will be guided by PG-13 ratings and its teen account content settings are generally aligned with movie ratings for ages 13 and up are false and highly misleading. The association's movie ratings, which range from G to NC-17, are done by parents who watch entire movies and evaluate them to come up with a rating. Meta's attempts to restrict teen content literally cannot be guided by or aligned with the PG-13 movie rating because Meta does not follow this curated process, the association's letter says. Instead, Meta's content restrictions appear to rely heavily on artificial intelligence or other automated technology measures. So just when you thought that they were going to do something good and make things safe, it turns out that's just a farce. It's a complete farce. The safest thing to do is not let your teens on Instagram at all, period. In a statement, Meta said that it updated its teen content policies to be closer to PG-13 movie standards, which parents already know, so parents can better understand what their teens see on Instagram. They say, we know social media isn't the same as movies, but we made this change to support parents, and we hope to work with the MPA to continue bringing families this clarity, the company said. Meta added that its intent was never to suggest that it partnered with the MPA or that the material on Instagram had been rated by the Movie Association. So if you see the PG-13 stamp on the Meta stuff, just know it's garbage. It's bovine scatology. They're just slapping that on there to make parents feel good. It's security theater. Also, your kids can probably get around all of that, and you'll never know. The best way to keep kids safe online is keep them offline, which brings us to the next story in the lightning round. Dumb homes are making a comeback. What is a dumb home? This is a good question. Axios has the story. People are creating dumb homes. Beth McGroarty, Vice President of Research at the Global Wellness Institute, tells Axios. Some are swapping NASA-style setups for old-fashioned buttons, switches, and knobs. Others are designing digital detox corners, all part of a better, bigger analog wellness movement. Between the lines, the return to analog hobbies, and spaces is about more than nostalgia for pre-internet times, researchers say. A home where technology is always in the background, working and listening, feels anxiety-producing instead of restorative. Architect Yan M. Wang tells Axios, rising costs for smart devices, new advances rendering old systems obsolete, and tech troubleshooting can also cause homeowners headaches. State of play, reading nooks are now being mentioned 48% more often in Zillow listings compared to a year ago, reflecting the growing demand for unplugged relaxation at home, according to Zillow's 2026 Home Trend Report. Design media brand Dwell named the decline of smart homes a top trend for 2025 and beyond. I personally love this. I love the pushback against technology, and I love that people are moving away from it. They say that wealthy Los Angeles house hunters have started shunning Wi-Fi-enabled, voice-activated appliances to escape the $100 billion home automation industry, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Meanwhile, landlines have found new fans. Many of them are parents who want to keep their kids off screens. The Washington Post reports, are landlines going to make a comeback? I wish we had a landline. It's gangster. Landlines nationwide remain rare. Roughly 79% of adults, 87% of children live in homes with only wireless phones. That was according to a federal survey at the end of 2024. Compare that to 2006, when around 13% of U.S. households were wireless only. What we're watching, smart home features may stick around and could push higher values in tech-heavy markets like San Francisco or Austin, Texas. But in second home destinations or places where buyers are looking to unplug, the return on investment wasn't always there, Colorado brokerage owner Andrew Fortune told Realtor.com in April. Dumb homes making a comeback. Have you ever seen the old school switches, like the push button on the light switch? Have you seen that? Have you, personally?
For
light switches?
I still have the
buttons?
Oh, no.
Not the flip, the button.
I have seen those. Yeah. My roommate's aunt and uncle's house that we helped move out of, all the light switches are like that.
Dude, they're so sick.
It's wild.
It's so
kinda
dope.
cool.
I like the idea of bringing back dumb homes.
I'm here for it.
I'm here for it too. That does it for the lightning round. I was wondering if we were going to be in danger again.
Yes.
It's 11:51. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, they just want to get you back to a pain-free life, and they want to do it without breaking the bank. This deal is unbelievable. I can't believe it's still going on. The Big Daddy Trump special, just $12, is going to get you a full exam, x-rays if needed, a well-explained diagnosis, and your first treatment for only $12. And you're thinking, well, I got a lot of pain. They can't be talking about me. And no, they are. No matter what you're dealing with, back pain, neck pain, sciatica, numbness, bulging discs, they'll treat it all. And that first exam is only $12. But they're not going to offer you stuff you don't want. Painful injections, surgery, opioids, not their style. They're going to treat it all with non-surgical spinal decompression, robot lasers, and anti-gravity machines. It is time for you to grab your MRI and get ready to finally understand your condition and fix it without surgery, without injections, and without painkillers. Give them a call today, 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009. I'm Chris Hand, and the Wellness Institute of Nashville has my seal of approval on this deal that absolutely could change your life. Painisbad.com. Elon Musk's privately funded tunnel from downtown BNA.
The most cutting-edge transit systems in the world.
They call it the Music City Loop. We call it the BNA hole.
We've submitted a list of questions, and so we're looking forward to the opportunity to get answers.
Questions like, how does a tunnel work? Or how can I be the biggest a-hole in the room without even trying? Because clearly, the fiscally responsible thing to do is to keep traffic backed up until every driver becomes an a-hole. The BNA hole. Zero cost to the taxpayers, and that's the real problem for the left.
I kind of think that's on brand.
Not enough opportunity to play tax collector a-hole. The BNA hole, where progress goes to upset liberals. $11:56, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Mason Fleming is producing. Ken Weaver's in the newsroom, joined in studio by Chad Benson. The gang's all here.
What's up, dog?
What's up, Chad? What do you got?
Nothing. What do you got? What's going on? What's the word?
Not much, man. What are you paying attention to this morning?
Pay attention to, you know what? Trillionaire. Talk about that. I think that's rather interesting. Who's going to be our trillionaire? With the Elon Musk thing that he's thrown out there. That's very interesting. They're citing today. In the midst of all of the shutdown and everything, it's just funny when you hear the T word. Oh, we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about, I got a bunch of other just wacky stuff. We'll talk about that football player.
Oh, my gosh.
Killed himself.
People are saying that he might have had CTE, the Dallas Cowboys player.
And apparently, from what I can get from my people out in Texas, because
Marshawn Nealand.
Yeah, he scored his first touchdown on Monday Night Football, and they had alerted, I guess, the police that he had suicidal thoughts, and they were trying to get to him and chase him. And so I don't,
It's heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking. It is, And so we'll talk about that because is it CTE? Was it, was he depressed for a long time? And once he got that touchdown, he thought, I've done everything I needed to do. I mean, it's such a 24. You think you got the world in front of you.
Oh, $24 million contracts. And, you would think not a care in the world.
Exactly. Not a care in the world. And you find out, well, sometimes depression has nothing to do with anything other than what's going on in the imbalance. We'll talk a little bit about that. We got a bunch of other wacky stuff.
It's also like a good reminder of don't compare yourself to others.
Yeah.
Because you have no idea what they're going through.
No idea.
There was this Jordan Peterson thing I heard a few years back, and it always stuck with me. He's like, compare yourself to where you were last year. That's the only comparison you should do, because you could compare yourself to that guy. You're going through it. Life is tough, and you got your issues. And you compare yourself to that guy driving a nice Mercedes down the highway, and he's like, but you don't know what's going on in his life.
No.
His family could be falling apart. His kids don't talk to him. He's in the middle of a divorce, and
he's everything's on credit, and it's about ready to be taken away from him. The internet has pushed us to a point where everything is somebody else's life is greener.
Yeah, and just don't do that.
No, you can't.
Just keep working on you.
That's all you can do.
That's it. That's the only thing that you can make a difference doing.
That's it. What'd you talk about?
We talked about the government shutdown. We talked about Trump's major announcement. It was another McRib. I'm just like, somebody said it stuck with me. Like, Trump's making a major announcement today. It's like, sometimes it feels like McDonald's a major announcement. And that's like just the McRib is back.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, with the healthcare stuff, which I'm not against, but I celebrated most favored nations pricing the last time we announced it.
Yeah.
And with the Wegovy and the Ozempic, I understand a lot of Americans need it, but I don't think that is the route to re-energizing the young male voter to come back to our side. I just don't.
No, and those numbers did not look good the other night as they start breaking them down. They did not look good at all.
But, in New York, though, you can absolutely make the argument that New Yorkers didn't forget 9/11. New Yorkers left and then were replaced, and that's why you saw Zoran get elected.
That's possible. I mean, it's
a lot of the stats are saying that. If you were in New York for your whole life, you voted for Cuomo. If you were in New York 5 years or less, you voted for Zoran, and it was pretty definitive.
Yeah, we had a lot of young people, a lot of young women that voted for Zoran. A lot of young women, progressives.
Young women love Sharia law.
So
surprisingly,
I don't think there's Sharia law.
It polls really high.
I don't think there's going to be Sharia.
Chad's in next. It's 12 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I always tell the men, why do you guys care?